Damn it.
That's how you start the show.
I'm sorry.
Holy cow. Did you catch that, Mike? Hey, everybody. Good morning. We're live on radio and video. Right as the start button was pushed, we're waiting for video to connect. Stephanie hiccups, burps, farts, sneezes.
It was a hiccup.
You might need to check the front and back side of your underwear to make sure you didn't leave any trails.
Oh, whatever. It was a hiccup. Yeah, and I did say, dang it.
Dang it.
Dang it.
Dang it.
Hey, when that happens.
You're drunk.
Ooh, that came out fast.
I showed my wife that last night, and she just started laughing like, you're drunk. Stephanie, now, you know, the funny thing is now Stephanie gives you the finger. You really have to question which direction did she give you the finger. Because if it's in the upward motion, you're dead. If it's in the pointing at you motion, you're drunk.
And if she does it this way, she's pointing at herself.
That's right. Well, the power of the finger. Well, she does it the other thing to herself. It's a whole different conversation. Power of the finger.
How about them trees?
So, not sure where we should go from here.
Me neither. Oh, but I was going to tell you about a machine that my friend has. I looked it up online, and it does seem to be pretty cool. But it's called a Cricut.
Right.
And you can make those.
What's this?
It's like a 3D computer. I mean, a 3D printer almost, I guess. And you can make those. What the heck are those stick-on?
And then
that goes on the wall. The something head.
And then fat heads.
Fat heads.
And
yeah, you can make stickers like that, and you can make 3D stuff.
And then
and it's pretty neat. And then we can make decals.
And then
we can make our own stickers. And
we're
so not listening.
No, he doesn't. He never listens to us.
I'm dealing with the superintendent over the buses because I got some more speeding this morning on video. I'll address that in just a second. Let me finish sending this email back.
You got speed?
Shoot. Mike and I was standing out there yesterday. Oh my gosh.
There was a little, was it a PT Cruiser? That red one.
No, the HH2 or something like that.
Man, it came by doing 100 plus.
Yeah.
If it was doing any less than 100, I would literally run naked up and down the street.
He had to hit the brakes hard to go into
to make the turn.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not going to make that turn.
I mean, it was.
That's great.
It was crazy. I think we saw like 4 or 5 go blitzing by
at least. But you know, it's like being in a combat zone. I guess you just get adjusted or die.
Well, how about this? This morning, you know, between 5:45 to about 10 after 6, there's 5 of them that come through here, and I mean they roar. And you can everybody can say what they want. I'm here. I know what's happening. So one of them comes barreling from the 4-way at Old Salem down here through the curve, and they only slow down when they hit the straightaway close to my house because they're fixing to turn right at this road right here before the school. So I have them on video flying. Then they are slowing down to turn. They pick up a kid, and at 4 or 5 minutes maybe before 6, they pull back out. They floor it like they're at a drag race. They barrel past my house, and then you see them go into that curve down there. They don't slow down. They don't tap the brake. They don't do anything. They just boogie around the curve. The crazy thing is, at the same time they're boogieing around the curve, at any given moment, the other bus is flying through here, and I'm waiting for them to play chicken. Like, if one accidentally goes one lane over and one goes a little more over, we're going to have a catastrophe.
Be like 2 giant yellow hippopotamuses.
Yeah, man. It looked like you. Never mind. So, yeah, man. So I sent some video this morning because I'm just like, dude. And he's now this guy that's in charge is super awesome, great guy. He stands by what he's saying. He's like, you just get me the videos with the numbers. He says, and then I can pull the records. He's like, I can pull them. So, but to know that 5 buses in that 20-minute span come flying down this damn road.
Yeah.
And then literally the one that went into the curve too fast, right as he goes past the curve, the car in the driveway backed out. The car was attempting to back out till the bus come boogieing down the road, and then the car just stopped. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And what I don't understand is when And at what point do people in the county actually care? Like, here's the guy that's already saying, he's already had meetings with these bus drivers telling them, you need to quit doing this, but they just continue to do it.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
They
think they're above the law. I mean, they honestly do.
What's going to happen is there'll be an accident, and then they're going to turn around, and this is exactly what they're going to say. And quote me, it's Bill, Jerry, Mike in the morning, Tuesday morning. They're going to go, well, they keep us on such a tight schedule.
Yeah.
They don't want us to get in our buses until 6, and we've got to pick up all the kids and be back by 6:05.
Right.
That's like the one that made the statement that they wanted to talk to Scottie about why did he get them in trouble?
Why did I narc them out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
wait, why did I narc you out for speeding?
Why?
You dumb biatch. Why were you speeding with our kids on board?
No.
Why did you bust the guy for shoplifting?
No.
Let me see here. Was there a crime being committed? I'm not real sure.
No. Don't talk about that.
Stupid people.
That's like this morning. There was another one that another person in the neighborhood that ran right through the stop sign.
Oh, that's happening a lot at our far away. These people just pull it.
Yeah.
How about this morning? Did you see me post a picture that says, I always go to crackheads garage sales so I get my stuff back.
Wow, I got that.
That was good.
I always go to crackhead yard sales so I get my stuff back.
That's cool. I like that. Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm looking at this
funny.
spinach and artichoke grilled.
That did happen, by
sandwich.
the way. My cousin in Alabama. I know it's a bad joke, but in Alabama, this is no lie. The people they had come home, and they didn't lock the doors a lot back then. They had come home and their TVs and stuff had been stolen. This is not an exaggeration from the truth. A year later, the people across the street that were the crackheads were actually, meth heads. They were getting evicted. They tried to sell my cousin her TV. And my cousin's like, hey, where'd you get that? Well, we picked it up at so-and-so. And they were trying to sell her freaking TV back. What is wrong with people?
In the pawn shop, we used to get people all the time doing that crap. In the pawn shop, we'd actually had people come in one day and say, hey, this is, here's a picture of the ring that was stolen from our house. Okay. Then come back 2-3 months later to try to get their ring at a pawn with a police report. That was their ring.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean, it's not.
Wow.
They would pawn their ring and then they turn around because they got caught. A family member would go, what happened to grandma's ring?
Right.
And they go, I don't know, must got stolen. But the whole time they had pawned it. And then same thing like you were just talking about. We had one guy yelling and screaming at us. And then his grandfather came in yelling and screaming at us about us being horrible because we took the ring in on a loan. And it's like, dude,
how did
we know?
Stole
the ring from y'all. It has nothing to do with that.
Has nothing to do with that.
Well, why didn't y'all ask him? Well, apparently your grandson is freaking let's see, a criminal. So what difference does it make if we would have asked him? But you can't, hey, that's just the way people are.
Can't discriminate against crackheads. Hey, did you see? I also posted another picture. It says this local woman lost X number of pounds doing this, and it's her smoking a crack pipe.
Wow.
I told you about my
I'm
buddy.
sorry. I have, look, when it comes to a sense of humor, I will laugh at anything. Anything, anybody. If you're too skinny, I'm going to laugh. If you're too fat, I'm going to laugh. If you're not fat enough, I'm going to laugh. If you're not skinny enough, I'm going to laugh. If your hair's growing on the back of your neck, I'm going to laugh.
Dang, I fell into like 5
You got
of those
nose
categories.
boogers, I'm going to laugh.
6.
If you're wearing a SpongeBob with underwear over the outside of your whatever, I'm going to laugh.
And it has a
If
K.
you're laying in the casket the wrong way, I'm going to laugh. And you know what I expect? If any of that happens to me, you're going to laugh. Come on, people, get a damn sense of humor.
No, we're not going to laugh. We're going to take it serious. Or at least I am.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
There's so many things out there to cry about.
Yes, there is.
Spilled milk for one.
Well, Monica Lewinsky claimed that's what it was, but I don't remember her getting a milk on her lunch that day.
I wonder if they have like a little cafeteria at the White House.
Of course they do.
Is this beef stroganoff fresh?
Well, it was Bill Stroganoff.
Hey.
Oh!
We're At 7:48, I might have to go to commercial on that one because that was definitely not PG-13. I don't know. It didn't have a cuss word in it.
But it insinuated.
Yeah, it was insinuation.
It insinuated.
So saying Bill
and
then the word stroking, and then a few seconds later,
Bill Patton's
is that offensive? Or was somebody being defensive when that happened? Cover my eyes.
Bill Patton's an actor, isn't he?
What the hell has that got to do with anything
you said
in
Bill
China?
Patton stroking something.
Boy, wow. I'm so glad she heard everything I said this morning.
It kind of blocked you out there for a minute.
I can tell.
Can I go home?
She took the sock that was on the front of her underwear and put it on her back.
Hey, the numbers on our the time
you like that?
On the YouTube, the time, the clock, the time where it says 07:49.
Yes.
Yeah, it's backwards.
Well, no, I know that, but it looks like Waffle House numbers.
Well, it's because since we ended up having a little bit of a screw up,
sounds technical to me.
Well, when we changed over to the new windows, see what happens?
Oh, you can't see that one.
So what happened
if you're not paying for the expensive one, they only give you X number of free
they're
ones.
Really bad choices.
Yeah,
they're all bad choices.
So
go back to Waffle House.
I figured Waffle House. They say, they say statistics say
that Waffle House sucks.
That black and yellow is the most recognizable colors together for advertising.
Because
it looks like Waffle House.
It has nothing to do with Waffle House, you drunk redneck. What I'm saying is, like business cards, flyers, things like that. They said black and yellow is the most recognizable number.
But then everybody's gonna think I work at Waffle House.
Trust me, sir. You couldn't have got that fat working at the Waffle House.
The hell I couldn't.
For real, all that grease.
I would never.
What's the grease got to do with him being fat?
Flavor crystals.
Yes.
Y'all are idiots. He would stroke out a long time ago from cholesterol poisoning.
All that butter.
What's the matter, Mike?
But is that real butter or imitation butter they use?
Can you say that word again?
Real butter or imitation butter?
Can you say the last word again?
Imitation.
Imitation? Imitation.
Fake butter?
I got the fake part, but is it pronounced imitation?
Yes.
Wouldn't the last word be butter?
Well, yeah, duh.
You two are blinking each other out way too much. You're having fun with this. Now, when you're at school, Stephanie, and you do that to a teacher, the teacher's going to be like, what the hell did you just flick me off?
Wait a minute.
You're drunk.
I'm 41 years old. Why would I be in school?
We've been saying
your
that
daughter's
for
in
years.
school, idiot. So when you're in school, you got a prom coming up.
Yeah, that's Saturday.
Damn, you are such a weirdo sometimes. Is it this Saturday?
Yes,
Crap, that reminds me I got a wedding to go to that day.
Saturday.
Man. At least all I got to do is show up and I don't have to work it. I have made a large decision. A lot of these charities that I have to go set up and do this and do this and do this, I'm starting to not do that anymore. I mean, I'm still going to help do charities, don't get me wrong, but I want to kind of get treated like the band. I just want to show up, I want to do my thing, and I want to leave. I don't want to get sucked into helping run it anymore. I'm kind of over it, man. It's too much stress. I got too much stuff going on. Just let me show up, do my part, and boogie on down the road.
Boogie on down, boogie on down, boogie on down the road.
What are you doing?
I'm playing with the microphone.
I see that.
Well, apparently
you're not supposed to touch it.
It's going to be hard to move it without touching it.
You don't understand how mechanics work. No wonder your car rides like crap.
It's because it's
in the same spot that it was.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It was tilted, which I was actually a little aggravated. He done it the other day, and then Denise sat on it, and it was like that the other day.
Denise sat on my microphone?
You gotta speak into that thing straight on. You can't talk in a 45-degree angle.
Well,
yeah, that's why he put these on there.
Thank you. Anywho's, again, I want to start just being able to help, just do my part and get on. I just want to be able to show up with a microphone plug in, do my skit, my shtick, my thing, and boogie. I mean, you don't expect the brick masons to show up to the job and stay and help frame the house. I mean, they're just supposed to come lay some bricks and go.
So
and in Mike's case, lay some chicks and go.
So you're going to just go to places and poop and leave?
Well, Denise does that.
Denise has got like a criteria.
I've never met a girl that has a pooper that works on command. You know,
Wow.
now I gotta go.
Doesn't matter where she is. She's like, She starts looking around, and you're like, you got to poop, and she's like, no, you're drunk. And so it's.
I said, you know how many people walked up to me the other day and said, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "What's that?" They said, "Why does Denise keep pointing at her boobs?" And I went, "What?" They said, "Well, every time somebody says duh, she points at her boob." I went, "She's pointing at her name, fool." Because she got a shirt made with duh over her left boob. So every time somebody say duh, she points at her boob.
And I gotta tell you,
people are like, "Why does she keep pointing?" I went, "It's duh."
For an educated woman, that is a really big deal for her too.
Which part? Her boob or the duh part, Mike?
Well, I mean, how many pictures have you guys received of her pointing at her shirt, going, "Look"?
I've not seen a picture.
You haven't seen those pictures on the message
board.
Dude,
y'all kill me on the message boards. I turn it off.
God,
you didn't see what I put on the message
board? Anyways,
this morning, Jesus, what the hell was all that about?
Duh.
Dumb, uneducated human.
She's gonna get you for that.
But is it not good? That's a good.
That's a good one coming from you. That means she needs to come up with something for redneck.
It's ridiculous.
There's too many letters she can't.
I heard a challenge there. Duh.
An educated.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Bella don't.
Thank God the door's locked. All right, let me go see what's going on. It's time for commercial. Anyways, we'll be right back, everybody. It's just fun in the morning.
It's okay, baby.
Were we expecting something?
Yes, Oz.
Oh, wow. I probably shouldn't have parked behind the bus, huh?
No, he said for you to. He said for you to park behind the bus.
No, did it? Okay. Don't do it, Bella. Don't do it, Bella. How are you, sir? You doing good? Almost. I bet you're going to be happy when this is all over.
Now, did you bring the sign to my house or did somebody else?
I brought it.
I wish I would have known you was there.
I brought it because I was talking to him. And I thought I had
my sign.
Oh, yeah. We took pictures of him. He was the first one.
And I took to her house too.
Oh, yeah, because that's when I was asking you for your address.
I wish I would have known. I would have came out and got a picture with you.
That would have been good.
I was going to say, you can still do it.
Yeah. What you think about my new house?
Oh, I love it. I think, in fact, I didn't know y'all had a lake over there.
Yeah.
Wow. I said, shoot, I can come over there.
Heck yeah, come on.
Yeah, like when I got time.
Just when are you going to go do that, Oz? 2, 3 o'clock.
But it brought serenity and tranquility. Just to see it, I said, okay.
You should sit back there on the back porch that we have now and just listening to the birds and the ducks and the frogs and the crickets. And I mean, it's like camping. No, they ain't no cockroaches and they ain't no rats. 77.
What are we doing?
Call in number.
678 760 1556.
Right in front of me.
1556. 556.
Hey, dial it. Make sure it works. I haven't paid the bill yet.
Really? Go ahead, callers. Call in and ask your questions. I'm sorry. The number you have done.
We'll call it. Make sure, because I just thought about it. I'm like, I hadn't.
You calling it, Steph?
I have to. No, I was trying to
down here on my card to pay it. Because this is the metro.
Trying to figure out what Alex is saying.
There's no telling.
Call that number.
I'm calling.
Mike is.
I got it. I got it.
Stephanie, what's important?
You're drunk.
You have to decide in life what is important.
How long do we have?
1 day is the day.
1 minute, 42 seconds.
Okay. I gotta make a phone call real quick.
You got to make a phone call, but you couldn't call the studio?
Yeah, she couldn't call the studio.
What's important, Steph?
I told you, find out what's important. Yeah, we spoke something about you coming.
What's important,
I
Steph?
can't remember actually. I think I did. Say so. Yeah, I don't know. I know we might have been talking about it before the show because I was explaining to Stephanie what you found yesterday.
I was HOT yesterday.
Oh yeah.
This morning when I was leaving the garage at the house, I saw these. It was two about long as my finger. Creepy black creatures. They were level to the ground in my garage. They're about that long.
About 1 million
legs.
Millipedes.
Millipedes, yeah.
He was about
thin
wide as
but long.
About wide as mine.
Right. Oh, you're talking about the big fat ones. They look like they roll up like a roly-poly when they're real round shelled. Yeah.
Yeah. Where they
Those are creepy.
from?
They're just big millipedes. They're just another one of them. They hang out under pine straw and all up in your bushes and stuff.
All up in your bushes.
They're strange things. And some of those aren't, some of them they say are dangerous.
Yeah, they look like, he kind of remind me of a scorpion.
Yeah. Oh, God. And, we've got scorpions here, too. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah,
what's a silverfish, though? I don't know what a silverfish is.
It's just a little winged
little
insect.
fish.
Yeah.
It's not a fish. It's a bug.
Yeah, but you'll see them a lot in bathtubs, believe it or not.
They're harmless.
What is it?
But yeah, what does it look like?
What does it look like?
It's got a little V tail. It's usually pretty small. Some of them I guess can get big, but it's like a aphid.
It's not like an earwig, is it?
No, it's like a aphid or a termite looking thing.
I saw that thing this morning. I said, "Ooh, let me get this out of here for my wife to get here." God, yeah. She would have had a heart attack in there.
Yeah. I don't do bugs well.
Me neither.
Yeah, but you bugged the hell out of me.
My job. It's my job. My job.
Say that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, everything's on. Yeah, just slap your headphones on. Make sure they're plugged in.
Slap them.
Those get yanked a lot. So
yeah, they do.
Oh, whose guitar pick is this?
Can you hear good?
Guitar pick.
Yours.
You hearing? Okay.
Probably Chris Hamrick. He was the last one.
And we're live.
We got you slotted for a couple of songs this morning.
We got Oz in the house. He wanted to come in this morning. It's funny, as the commissioner, he calls yesterday. He's like, well, la, 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 la. He was hot too, boy. And I was like, welcome to my world. I've never heard Oz sound like I do. Meaning a lot of people think I'm just a crazy activist guy trying to straighten out my neighborhood. And now, I'm not going to say just now he's doing this because this is something he's been doing, but he's seeing a lot more of it with all the people being evicted and things of that nature. So fill us in on what happened yesterday so I don't take your thunder.
Well, good morning. Good to be back with Just for Fun Radio this morning. It's always good to be in the house. And guess what? It is Tuesday, by the way. I don't know whether you guys realize that. It's
Town Talk Tuesday.
Town Topic Tuesday.
I shortened it.
We haven't done Town Topic Tuesday in a long time, but I'm just going to get straight to the point here. What's happening is I'm getting so many calls, emails, text messages, probably more text messages, thank God nowadays than anything, because I've kind of told everybody that's the best way to get a hold of me. So everybody in town now knows Call Oz. And whereas I appreciate the level of involvement, I'm frustrated about a lot of the things that I'm seeing. And
yeah, because you're getting the calls firsthand now.
I'm going firsthand
instead of third person.
Instead of this being filtered through the office. In fact, if it's filtered through the office, chances are I'm not going to know anything about it.
Or it's going to be downsized.
Well, and here's the other part of that coin, too. People realize that don't send it through the office. If you really want real results and action, you better call Oz himself and let him come out here. And I like house calls. I like going there. I like being. So I'm in Country Walk, Fieldstone subdivision on Fieldstone View. And there was a house that had been there for quite some time that had burned due to a fire. Finally, the property owner demolished the property, and it is a hot mess. Can anybody else say hot mess?
Hot mess.
It is a hot mess. And I went over there. There's debris, there's furniture, there's mattresses, there's all kind of trash and garbage. And it looked like this guy is literally trying to create his own landfill trying to bury some of this debris. I'm like, what the freak shut the front door? What is?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about the neighbors on the front, the back, the left, and the right. And I'm thinking about May 27th, the day that kids get out of school. And I'm saying, wait a minute, this is no longer just a code enforcement violation. This is going to be a Rockdale County liability, because all we need is for some kid to wander over in that pile of debris and nail and wood, and oh my goodness. So I'm saying, what is taking so freaking long to get this done?
And the thing too is, it's not a secured area. Unlike
there's
my
no
backyard,
fence.
at least it's fenced in.
That has it fenced in. But here's the thing. There's one issue to address the property owner with the property. In the interim, in the meantime, here is this footloose, fancy-free, easy access pile of debris.
Footloose, fancy-free.
Well, if you think about kids, they're going to want to go out there and play and hit sticks at each other and sword fight.
And that's the footloose, fancy-free part of it.
Can you imagine the two of us growing up, what we used to do?
You would have been right there.
Yeah, but just think about where that pile of mess is. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's go build a fort.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Let's go build a fort.
Right. So
all
I can see is the liability of the county. And I'm saying, while we're trying to hold the property owner accountable, let's go ahead and get someone out here to clean this mess on up. Let's give the property owner the bill.
Yeah, back charge them.
Or put a lien against the property.
That's right.
And we'll deal with it that way. In the meantime, here's what you're saying to your other citizens and taxpayers. We care about you. We care about the value of your property. We're not going to allow your property, your community to go down.
Can you imagine the neighbor to this?
We're going to clean this out. First of all, now let me. I'm not done here, because the community. I'm not letting the community, Stephanie, off the hook. Because wouldn't you be embarrassed if I had to come to your house with my vacuum and my rags to clean your furniture?
Yes.
You've apparently never been to Stephanie's house.
So the point I'm making, Scottie, is we have got to empower these communities how to have a sense of pride in their own backyard and take ownership of their own community.
Well, in that, and it's for me, think about me being a homeowner, but then think about, say, the people across the street that are renters. What gets me is the renters just allowed the house to be trashed.
Wait, hold it, Scottie. All renters are not the same.
No, I'm definitely not saying that, but I'm using that as my personal, for instance, is, we had these people living across the street. And since they've been evicted, the trash just sat outside, and I've called and called and called, and nothing's really been done. But I did some investigating, and what I found out is where code enforcement has pulled out some reports and filed reports, I'm hearing that the person for the county is not prosecuting the people. They're not going after the people. So we need to get to the bottom of it. I almost believe it's a problem of whose office is not taking responsibility. If code enforcement's writing it up, they have to turn it into somebody. Well, when the guy comes and writes it up, we need to find out the chain of command. If he's giving it to his boss, what's his boss doing with it? And if his boss turns it over to the prosecutor,
one of you all pull up the post that I put out there yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to, because I want it to be seen on Facebook.
I want to go back to the mindset that I was in yesterday in terms of the things that I said about the fact that we have to make sure we hold these people accountable. And the process has to be an aggressive process to deal with an aggressive situation. We can't approach this, Mike, from a passive standpoint when we've got an aggressive issue in a community that's deteriorating a community in a subdivision or neighborhood, that's creating crime, that's creating liability in terms of injuries and things like that. We cannot do that. We have got to make certain that we hold these people accountable. And it's time for the county to take an aggressive step of doing what needs to be done to get a grip of this situation.
Now, in Gwinnett County, where I lived, on 124 are some of the big, when I was still doing a bunch of construction, one of the families that I took care of.
I think you're going too fast.
Well, all these were saying 18 hours ago, so I had to get back to 18 hours. So this family owned, if you visualize a rectangle, from the road of 124 in Centerville, you saw an old 100-year-old house that somebody was renting. Next door to it, you saw a business that was a fencing company. Behind the fencing company was a huge, huge metal building that had like an Abra collision center. They had a steel mill. I mean, they had all this stuff. So in your mind, you visualized this family owned the big metal building. But what you didn't know is they actually owned a square property, not a rectangle. So that 100-something-year-old house that was sitting on a corner on a little side street had been occupied for years and years and years. But then because they didn't put any money into keeping it up, it started dilapidating. So as it fell apart a little more, they ended up evicting the people. I shouldn't say evicted. They made an arrangement because the house was falling apart and they didn't want to spend the money. So as it sat there for a couple of months, the doors got kicked in, the windows were knocked in, kids were hanging out with it. At late night, kids were drinking in it. It was becoming a problem. Whoever gets
it was becoming a
right,
problem.
becoming a problem. But the problem too is if my child, your child, anyone's child goes and falls through the floor, the person who is owner of the property is responsible, whether the kid was trespassing or not. They're responsible for the well-being of what happened on their property.
So let me interject this and tell you when it becomes a liability for the community, in this case for Rockdale County. When the local citizens have called on code enforcement time after time after time after time after time again.
Right.
And now it's documented that we've made repeated calls to code enforcement to get something done and resolve this issue.
That's right.
So when the kid goes and gets hurt, the attorney for the kid and his family, the first thing the attorney is going to do is get on the ground in the neighborhood and go door to door.
They're going to get all the info.
How many times we've contacted Rockdale? They're not going to put the focus on the homeowner.
Well, they're going to label him too, but it's going to be him and the county.
It's going to be him and the county. But who are they going to? Because everybody believes the county has the biggest pot.
That's right.
So they're going after the guy with the biggest pot.
Well, that and they want to get Fox 5 involved.
They're going to get them all involved.
So what they're going to do is get all the neighbors that said they've complained 100 times, and then they're going to go for your code enforcement.
Miss Jenkins,
and they're going to find out how many actual calls were made.
There's Miss Jenkins who goes to church.
That's right.
And goes to Bible study. She lives across the street, and this is what she's going to say. I've called several times, and they've come out here, but they've done nothing.
That's right.
And she's going to have the nicest, sweetest, innocent look.
And her story on Fox 5 is going to be awesome.
It's going to be, and so the attorney is going to sue the socks off of Rockdale County because the injury is going to be beyond something that a tetanus shot can take care of.
That's right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. Look, man, Gwinnett County didn't play. They sent my owner. They sent her a message that said,
"Why do we have to wait for that?"
That's right. They told this lady 3 times, "This is what you're going to do, and you need to remove said house because it's an endangerment for the community. You don't have the property fenced off. You don't have it marked or nothing."
It's time
so they
for
bulldozed
Rockdale County to be responsive.
Well,
versus
that's right.
being reactive.
Gwinnett County told her they were going to fine her $1,500 a day after her cutoff point.
We got to stop being reactive to all of these issues and learn how to be proactive and responsive. Now, again, I'm not taking the community off the hook. First of all, we're talking about a community that was one of Rockdale County premier communities many, many years ago.
Man, that country walk area.
And there's plenty of people.
Beautiful.
There's plenty of people who are still there.
Yeah.
Who still have good looking property.
Well, and also it's a lot of people that are stuck that can't sell their house and get out of there.
Right. So
they're forced to stay there.
So I want to make sure that we don't talk over the fact there are good people there with beautiful properties. I want to say that.
Yes.
There's good people with beautiful properties, or landscape properties. However, there's owners who've moved out who are now renting some of these properties to people who don't give a flying flip about taking care of a community and keeping their property up and keeping up property values.
Right.
And those slumlords and landowners and homeowners are renting to people who can just care less.
That's right.
So as a result, they're tearing up the community. Nesbitt, what do you want to do? I'm glad you asked. Here's what we've got to do.
You need us to be here.
Man, he was hot yesterday. He's like, man, I got to do something. This is sad.
We have got to, first of all, take an aggressive approach to helping clean this up. Keyword helping. Then we've got to empower the community by getting, guess who involved? The young people, the parents, the property owners, the local schools, the local churches, the local nonprofit organizations who are in and around that community that can all lend a hand to cleaning up this community. I want to teach people how to clean their own backyard.
That's right.
But more importantly, I want to deposit in them how to have a sense of pride. Did you live in a community where there was an older gentleman who just had a fit if you walk across his lawn?
My neighbor.
Because
my grandfather.
My neighbor next door cut his grass 3 times a week.
Because they had a strong sense of pride. And I'd be damned if they wanted you tracking across their lawn that they spent hours in trying to make sure it was reflective and representative of the people that live there.
Right.
They took their gardens, their landscape was very important.
Yes.
So I'm saying this morning that I'm ready, willing, and able to not only do what needs to be done in the Country Walk Fieldstone area, Stephanie, but all throughout Rockdale County, there are just a few other communities who are impacted by the same issue. And far too long, this current administration has sat around on its laurels, taking a very passive approach, not getting aggressively involved and making excuses. Instead of saying what we can do, it gives you a list of what you can't do. And Rockdale is ready for results.
Right.
And it doesn't take an act of Congress to find $200 and $300 to give to a cleanup crew and get that mess out of there, put a lien against the property, hold the property owner, like you said, accountable. Hold them accountable, and let's move on, baby. But in the interim, don't just clean it up. Let's get that community, Mike, involved and teach them, empower them how to have a sense of pride about the place they live.
Right. I'm with you because there's so many things going on around here. Like we pay an additional stormwater fee. This county, we all have an additional fee. It has nothing to do with the water department. And it's supposed to be about the water runoff and the storm drains and blah, blah, blah. But I can go out here and point in my front yard, not just mine, but everybody's, where there's dirt and actually weeds growing against the curb, which causes water not to run right and flood people's driveways.
And the ditches
it's just those sort of things. There's so many things, and they're little things. But little things all add up. You keep putting little rocks in a bucket, you're eventually going to have a 100-pound bucket. And we need those little things addressed.
Let me say this. Through clear vision, education, and information, and through a complete community collaborative. And what do I mean about all of that? You got to get the people in the community involved. It's not just a government problem. It's a community issue that is going to take the total community to step up and get involved. But you have to launch the right campaign.
Right.
There has to be good marketing, a good message that goes out. Let's educate. Remember Smokey the Bear? Not Smoke. Yeah.
Yeah. Smokey the Bear says you can't. Only you can.
Don't
prevent
litter.
Fire. Yeah.
Preventing fire. Remember the Indian guy on the television that would cry, "Don't litter."
Look at
No,
up the crime dog.
But all those things. We used to see those commercials, and now you really don't.
They taught the young people how to get involved and stop the littering. We have to launch campaigns that cater to where people are today.
Right.
A message that goes out throughout our community. Rockdale County, you've heard me, Stephanie, say that, Mike say this a gazillion times. There's over 300 churches in this community.
Yes.
Why? Yeah, we should pull off a Saturday where we bring all the churches together and get out and clean up within the 2 miles of your church. I mean, just think along those lines of what could be done.
We can do it with the right message, with the right leadership.
That's right.
And we can come together and get it done.
Now, look, I just have this
cleaning, Rockdale County cleaning, keep Rockdale County Clean and Beautiful Council. They do exist, and I think we can work with them and do some of the wonderful things that they're already doing.
Now, this isn't to be, I mean, of course, this is a text message, so it's not to sound. Is it Steffi's? You know, it's crazy because we've been noticing some of the microphones and headphones. I don't know if I'm getting a weird interference or what. We can always swap headphones for you in just a second. This is from a.
You hearing things, Oz?
No, well, it sounds like I'm talking out of my nose. It
Here.
sounds like
I'm
congested.
Is that any better?
That's bringing the Oz voice.
Yeah, that's better.
That's bringing a lot of clarity there. That's better than clarity and deep.
What I was going to say is too. Those headphones have a lot of bass.
What is that stuff? You just injected me with something that's better than Zyrtec.
It just those headphones have a lot of bass. So if you don't bring the volume up, sometimes. Now, this is from and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but I wanted to be clear on this. And this is not to bash you or nothing, so please don't take it that way. But it's a text message. Since he's speaking of cleaning up areas, this person says, I have to work in the Sunrise and the Lakeview Estates area. What is his views on that? Has he been there?
I've been there on many times.
Sunrise is a different world in there.
Let me answer it. I've been there on several occasions, and it is a different world over there.
It's different.
And I think that the same type of aggressive campaign that I'm talking about over in Fieldstone View, it would certainly apply over there as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are good people in Sunrise. I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
There are good people in Sunrise, but there needs to be some cleaning up over there, and it needs to be aggressive and not passive.
Right.
And what's my definition of aggressive? It's time to get the people that live there to get involved and take ownership
and get their
of
community
their
back.
Right. And get their community. And we have to set standards in that community of certain things that you can and cannot have. We have to set a standard, Stephanie and DJ Scottie, and to that particular listener of what is allowed in that community. And we can't have that community looking like the rural side of Mexico.
Yeah, and
chickens,
a lot of
dogs,
the poor folks are
chickens, dogs, and goats
running
and
everywhere.
all kind of like you in a third world country or some damn where.
That's why I tell people it's a different world over there. It is extremely different world.
I'm glad this person texted in and called in, but you're absolutely right. I've been there several times. When I said a moment, that came to mind. When I said to you, Stephanie, I says, well, there's several other areas and communities.
Oh, yeah.
In our county, and I was thinking about Sunrise because that's definitely high up on the chart. Again, it can be done, but we need to take a really aggressive SWAT team approach to getting it done. But we've got to empower the people that live there to take ownership, and then when we set the standard, we got to enforce it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to interject.
I want to address something real quick, and you just back out of this one because me and Stephanie is aware of a situation with a person that we know. Here's the thing that we find funny. So code enforcement has numerous complaints from numerous people. I can speak of how many times I've called about my street and side streets of my neighborhood. What I find funny is I personally have seen nothing done on my situation from the amount of times I've called. But we know of a person that had moved out of a house, still had a couple of dogs there, but then relocated the dogs. Right after the dogs were relocated, code enforcement, who is not animal control, code enforcement pulls up for a house that's been foreclosed on, leaves a nice, huge complaint type letter saying you have X number of days to get the dogs out of there, and there was no dogs there. So what I personally find funny is, how is it that code enforcement is trying to write citations that's animal control's business, but yet you'll go out there and make a big deal out of that, but you're not fixing the overall problems on all these other neighborhoods that you've been called on time and time and time. So again, it falls on the, I know from what I've investigated and been researching, is code enforcement as the guy who drives and does the messaging. I think whoever he's answering to and that person's answering to are the people that probably need to be questioned the most, because it seems like the guy in the truck's going to these places. It's just the ball's getting dropped after that point.
Well, what you're talking about, Scottie, is a communication problem.
Yeah, there's something missing.
There's a break in communication. And a lot of these issues that we're talking about, the one that you just described, the one that I'm talking about over in Fieldstone View or Country Walk, the area over in Sunrise, let me tell you what it's going to take. A collective effort on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, which means code enforcement, animal control, the sheriff's department,
right,
public works, all of those people together combined, and probably a few other folks that I didn't mention, and even some private contractors to come in and support some of the things that we're going to have to do to clean up these areas. It takes communication.
right.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of these cases, dogs and pets are involved. So for those instances, guess who we need on the scene? Animal control. Code enforcement should be there to enforce the code part of it.
The violation of whatever actually might be said property.
Animal control should be there for the best humane aspect of taking care of the dogs and the animals that sometimes been left, sometimes are malnourished, sometimes are
it's like I got a horse down the road
barking on death's door
because
no food and nutrition and water. So I've seen all kinds of things out there before.
Yeah,
but we've got to communicate. If the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, there is a problem.
Oh, no doubt.
So we have to bring in a level of communication that's going across the board throughout county government to make sure that everybody's on the same wavelength in terms of addressing and attacking these issues. And to just talk about it is time out for that.
Yeah.
And this current administration has had 8 years to get its act together. And these problems continue, and seem, Mike, that they're mounting here in Rockdale County. I'm getting people call me now. They're not only texting me. Guess what they're doing? Sending pictures.
Well, pictures speak.
They're sending pictures now.
Speak a lot louder.
And so I go out, and they said, "Well, I've tried to call the chairman's office or call code enforcement and ABC and 123."
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, I got to shoot off to commercial because I know you're fixing to ask a question. That's why I was just throwing up the 1 minute. But I wanted to go ahead. Now that we've had him speak, let's come back from a commercial. Let's ask a couple questions. Anybody else that has anything, text us your information that you want asked, and let's go from there. The whole thing is we're not saying that code enforcement needs to come out and ride your ass about everything. But what we are saying is there are very important things, such as this house that he posted pictures of yesterday. I believe if the second code enforcement got there, he should have got out with caution tape and he should have roped the property off to at least show that the county was there trying to keep it safe with caution tape. Everybody hang tight. We will be right back.
Now this is weird. My Facebook on my tablet does the live video now, but the one on my phone won't.
It takes everybody to update.
This one's been, I updated it this morning. Man.
Just because you updated don't mean the update's been updated.
Exactly.
Oh, it is an Android.
They both are.
Woman, there's two different programs. One's a phone through Metro PCS. One's an HP. Who do you think's more sophisticated?
This
Metro
is an LG
or HP? It's still got to go through that. Oh.
I know. I'm just picking at you. I was just gonna wonder what in the halo we're doing.
Explain. She has decided that she's going to be a superhero. And I said, what power? Me and Mike would say, what power are you going to have? She says, I'm going to be able to do this and say you're drunk. So I'm like, now, if you do this at somebody or this at somebody, you're going to confuse me. You're going to confuse me by shooting birds.
Yeah, I dressed up in my SpongeBob, my super SpongeBob shirt and well, I just was I was trying to interject when Mal.
I'm glad he fixed my. It sounded like I congested. It sounded like maybe a little bit, but it really sounded like I was stuffy.
Oh no, I was just gonna
see what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. No, I just wanted to interject or ask.
Keep a lot of my personal
and this is this down here, this part
is what I'm saying. What I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna ask.
because especially
I
right
was
now.
just gonna ask, what is gonna keep code
I wanted to bring
enforcement
that.
from?
Think.
Let me get my wording right.
Yep.
Because I had it in my head and then
Well, we'll
I
have
lost
some
it.
questions when we get back.
How are they gonna know, like, false complaints compared to actual complaints?
Right.
What's gonna be?
And
What are they gonna do to differentiate? Is that the right word, between the two? That was the only thing I was gonna interject. Who's this stopping up? Damn it.
Bring that up. That's part of the
Yeah, I was
resolution.
gonna
Okay.
interject
Part of
that
the
too. It was
Hey, have
about a
you had,
homeowner.
I got a listener asking.
Elected officials, how come this business not longer?
Thomas
You should
is
have
the only
people-
guy that's came in.
You should be having them.
One of the guys that was running for
You need to post something.
Fort, I've asked
We
him
do.
to come in.
And say something.
Well,
about it. I mean, there's tons
The
of
problem is people are scared, just like
Anderson
sometimes
tape
people
on
are
it.
scared to call in because they're scared their voice is going to be quoted on something.
Pastor Henderson.
That's the one thing I like about Connie is I said that we are going to ask the questions of the people, and her and Mike Myers both kind of a little scared because I said I believe people staying in there should have a right to ask questions, just like at a city hall meeting. The citizens have a right to ask questions.
Well, if you're in this, you get in the hot seat of politics, you got to be ready.
Got to be ready to answer.
Especially local politics. There's no place to hide.
So they're trying to figure out a way to make it. So basically, we're going to have people send to us questions that they want to ask, so that we can keep them safe questions. But at the same time, I'm media, dude. I 100% believe the power of the people, and every person standing in that crowd has a right to get up and ask a question. So I don't like the censorship that's being asked of me, because I believe every person has a right to stand up and say, why do you think you should be elected? They have the right to ask that question, and I hate the fact that people want me to censor it.
Well, I think it's important that you invite as many of the other local candidates to Just for Fun Radio to get out here and be a part of.
Hey, say that one more time. We're going back. All right, we're back live, y'all. We got to remember we're running kind of two shows, one on video and one on radio. But Oz was bringing up the fact that, we really haven't had a whole lot of people come out here trying to get their voice out, and we keep encouraging it, man.
Well, I think
they're scared.
Well, they may be scared, but listen, if they're jumping in the hot seat, they ought to be prepared for hot questions.
That's
it
right.
comes with the territory. It's part of it. Every question that comes my way, I don't particularly always like it. It's just part of it. I'm in public service, and I'm going to get some things that's going to kind of push my button every now and then, and that's okay. I think you need to invite more of the other candidates and locally elected officials to come out and be a part of Just for Fun Radio and have their say, give them their 2 cents or their 15 seconds of fame, or to bring forth their platform, or whatever the case may be. I think this is an opportunity for people to hear from them, and they shouldn't be afraid of the microphone and the media.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Anyone that's running for public office, and it may sound easy for me to say this because I spent 15 years in law enforcement. I've been 8 years as your commissioner. I'm used of the tough stuff. I've also experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly of media, and it's part of it. You have to have tough skin. If you think that everybody's going to be your friend and nice and warm and fuzzy because you're an elected official, you got another thing coming.
Yeah.
So I cast your net. Do it again. I'm going to encourage you to do that, DJ Scottie.
Oh, we're going
to get people in here, and there's only
because we get the beginning of next week. I'm going to try to tell everybody that's going to be at that debate. Here's your opportunity to get in here and speak before the debate. Because here's what I fear, since I've already been asked to censor myself and not allow the people to speak freely. I have a fear that we write up these 10 questions apiece. How do we know that one of the candidates aren't going to already get the questions, know the answers that they plan on speaking? I believe 100% in the freedom of our media. I believe we as the press have 100% the right to ask the questions. We as the citizens have 100% the right to ask the questions. And this ain't addressed towards you. This is just a statement. I just don't think that we should have a list that only I write 10 questions and Mike writes 10 questions and other people that's going to be on the board write 10 questions, because those are our 10 questions. I want the citizens to have a right to ask their questions. And I believe being told that we can't do that is just against the politicians. It's against our rights as well.
Well, let me say, different forums and debates are set up differently.
Yeah.
I've gone to several of them where the audience are allowed to submit questions and write them in an organized fashion on an index card and submit those questions.
And that's what I asked
The moderator doesn't have an opportunity to entertain every single question.
Right.
True.
And a part of the filtering process, because a lot of the questions are the same questions, just written in different ways.
Yes.
So, and because of timing, you can't stay at a debate or forum all night or all evening.
Right.
You have to really get to so it has to be organization.
Yes.
And it can't be.
Well, my plan is to have a bucket for you to do what they said. People can write questions, and I'll have Steph and Denise reading these questions so that they can read one and go, yep, we're not asking that one, but we can't ask this one.
We cannot create and facilitate a place of chaos and confusion and calamity. It has to be organization. And everyone that's a part of running the forum of debate ought to stand firm and tall together in the event, Mike, that any person coming in there trying to create a ruckus.
Oh, microphones get pulled.
And all that. Well, not necessarily the microphone. You may just have someone in the audience that's being obnoxious, rude, disrespectful, and all of that.
Yeah, I got a bullhorn for that.
I'll be there.
Because while I have my people asking serious questions, I'm still
you can't become a part of the problem.
Oh,
DJ Scottie.
A bullhorn to a person's ear, they'll shut up.
But anyway, I think
I got this question though that's from a listener. My thing is when he speaks of Country Walk and Fieldstone, these areas just didn't get like this overnight. The neighborhood has been, let me make sure because I'm dyslexic here, make sure I'm reading it right. This neighborhood has been like this for way before he got here to this county. Not to mention Sunrise, aka Little Mexico, has been like this since the mid-'80s. Yes, there's good people there. However, this area is still and probably will always be disgusting. I guess that's addressing the fact of if it's already been this way for years, you've already been in office. And I'm assuming this is what this is saying. You've already been in office, and now as chairman, are you going to address it, or why has this not been addressed before? I'm just reading between the lines on that.
Well, let me say this to you first. Never assume anything. In fact,
I didn't know how else to assume that. Was that a question / statement?
Do your best not to assume a damn thing. Let me just say this.
It makes that
this person is absolutely correct. These problems and issues have existed predating me coming in as a commissioner, predating me coming into this community in this county. But what I'm saying now that I'm here, now that I'm on the scene, now that I have a voice, now that I can get some things done on behalf of the community, I'm not going to sit idly by any longer and watch this community deteriorate because it's unfair to the other taxpayers and the people in that community. We're trying to enhance Rockdale County and build up property values. So it's going to take a leader who is not afraid to get out on the ground, get in the trenches where the problems are. Absolutely. It didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to go away overnight. So I want to empower the people. Now, here's what I can't do. I truly can't tell you how to run your household. You have your own set of values and rules and missions and beliefs. That's up to you and your household. But what I can say to you, that we're not going to tolerate certain things in our community. I'm a governor of the community, which means that I have to take in consideration every citizen, all children, all people, and every subdivision. So as the governor of the community, I have to make sure that I put forth a message that says what we will and will not tolerate in Fieldstone View, Country Walk, or any other community in Rockdale County. And if I give attention over here and we enforce it over here, we have to enforce it over there just as well.
Yes.
You cannot be selective as to where we go to address a problem and clean up a community.
Now, as you're saying this, though,
and there are communities like Sunrise, like Country Walk, that need a lot more attention than other areas.
Well, they need to be brought up to a standard.
Well, and it's not going to happen overnight.
Right. And this is where this other part comes from.
So I want to
Why would we
the
believe
community.
that when he's been quite content to sit by and idle this far? Make sure I'm reading it right. Before he tried to run for chairman.
Well, that's a great question, and here's the answer. The chairman, who is the manager of day-to-day operation, is the chief person responsible for being on the ground. When did I say? Day-to-day. As a part-time commissioner, when I'm not in the county office on Tuesdays, take a guess where I am.
That and you don't have that, and that and you don't have that county car.
So I don't have.
Sorry, I'm just saying. If you got a county car and a expense account, you can have your ass out there. I'm sorry,
but I want to educate. I want to educate the listener. I want to make sure we educate.
Sorry.
I want to make sure we
Still
educate.
my show. I'm gonna say what I got to say.
I want to make sure we educate the listener, because a lot of the listeners are under the assumption that I'm in the office every day.
Yeah. Oh, and that also that you are not a paid commissioner, that you are doing this for free as a person on the board.
Let's not confuse people.
Yeah, but I want to make sure people understand that you are not the chairman. You do not draw a salary from the county. Everything you have done thus far has been for free.
Well, I do receive a $25,000 a year stipend.
What is a stipend? Because I see stifling is what I see happening around here.
Well, okay. For the job is full time. The pay is part time.
Okay, so you do get go. Let's go for it.
Post 1, the position I'm in, and the post 2 commissioner receives a $25,000 a year salary. We are what is called part-time commissioners. We impact policy and budget. Okay, we're there for check and balance. The person in charge of running the county on a day-to-day basis is the chairman of Rockdale County government.
Right.
That's the person who's supposed to be on the ground, in the trenches, day in and day out, responding to these calls, complaints, and concerns,
and making sure everybody's doing
and dispatching the appropriate service provider, whether it's somebody from the fire department, somebody from Parks and Rec, Animal Control, Code Enforcement, Public Work, Roads and Bridges. Who? The chairman. So, going back to the question of the caller. I
just got to laugh. Y'all get paid yearly less than what he paid for the vehicle. I'm sorry. I just got to throw that out there.
Well, we're not there. We're not.
Mike's giggling, but you see my point? The oxymorons are coming in right now. Like, none of this is making sense to me.
Well, I want to make sure that this caller is intelligent and educated about what's really happening, because I really believe, Mike, there's a lot of people out there that didn't know this and don't know this. So let me wrap this up and say this. As chairman, I will have a greater capacity and a far reach to be able to have the tools and resources to do what I've not been able to do as a part-time commissioner. So all the things that people have seen me do through social media and all the stuff that I do in the community, guess what, guys? I've done that on my own time. Now, imagine what I would be able to do if I'm given the opportunity to be your chairman on a day-to-day basis.
Right. And see, that's the thing too, is a lot of this information is not information that we all just have, like at the grasp of our fingertips. You know, you were still having to work up until this campaign. You were having to work full time because you didn't have this was just part time for you. And the thing I keep looking at is
so it's important for that caller right now.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Understand,
you know, you've been selling cars this whole time.
They wanted to know, why haven't I done anything about it? Because
you were limited on your time frame.
That hasn't been my job as the day-to-day manager to do something.
Yeah, let's catch this just for fun. Hello. Hello. Just for fun radio.
Yes. Okay. I'm talking about. Y'all say y'all need people help cleaning up and stuff like that.
Down. We can't hear you. Turn the radio down, please.
Turn that stuff down in the background. Okay, that was Chris Spalding. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so where you had some questions, Mike? Let's address some of your questions.
I did. One, let me point out this.
And we are trying to be real reporters at this moment, not trying to be Jackass Radio. I just want everybody to know, as the media, we have a right to ask these questions, and a lot of these questions have been sent in to us since the beginning of the morning.
Let's go.
Well, I mean, here's one big thing, too, I want to put out as military Mike. You know what, a lot of these questions, whenever somebody comments on your past or what you did or didn't do, I just kind of throw that's why I've been over here rolling my eyes, because you know what, if they don't understand that, then
well, look at my past, look at your past. I bet your past is not
let
any
it
better.
Go. Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, let's dig up your old dirty underwear that's been kicked under the bed.
Yeah.
No, I think what he's saying is my 8 years as a county commissioner is what he's talking.
Well, there's been a bunch of people slinging mud lately, so that's why I want to make sure. Hold on, I wanted to make sure that we address the fact that we all have.
I don't want to
some
mix.
kind of
I don't want
past.
to mix what we're saying though.
Yeah, no.
So I don't want to go into something that we're not saying.
No.
What he's talking about right now is my 8-year service as a county commissioner and being a part-time commissioner.
Right.
With a full-time responsibility,
right?
Not being the day-to-day manager, not being the chairman. So I have confused the public.
Well, you're a father, you're a husband, you're having to work every day at the car lot. You know, you couldn't be full-time commissioner.
Scotty, I have confused the public because all of the things that they see me do, especially through social media, people think
visually you look like the man.
They think that I'm in the office, Stephanie, working in that office all day, every day,
because they see you more like, or the
visually
chairman,
you appear to be the man.
The chairman, I couldn't tell you what in the world he looked like.
We thought we saw him at the gym. Remember that? We were at the gym and we thought we saw him at the gym, and when we realized it wasn't him.
What damn gym?
Planet Fitness. We thought it was him until we realized it wasn't him.
As commissioner, you'll get a membership.
Because when we kept looking at him, I said, that's got to be him. And then I was like, Stephanie, the reason I know it's not him, he's not cutting me a dirty look.
All right, go to your question.
Go to your question, Mike.
All right, so yes, sir. There. All right. Now, and I apologize, these are a little bit behind here.
But, hey, wait, before you go real far, I just got to cover this as fast as we're doing this. From one of the listeners that's asked all these questions, then those other commissioners should pay back the money if he's saying he hasn't done anything. In other words, if all the ones that haven't been out there doing the work has been accepting money, they should pay it back to the county. Go for it, Mike. Turn it over to you.
Yeah, like that's going to happen. Thank you. Go for it, Mike. Caller. All right. The particular property, and I wanted to get back to that. And I'm just using this as the example, not as the specific. All right. This particular property, has it had many documented complaints?
Yes, it has. There's been multiple complaints coming in from the local neighborhood over there.
Okay.
In fact, while I was out yesterday, just about ranting and raving in the community, people were walking out saying, I've called. Yeah, I've called. We've called. Yeah. So there's been multiple complaints and calls.
Yes. You know, people say that, but when you actually go, and I don't want to talk about a breakdown of the government. Somebody didn't fill out the paperwork. I'm just saying that people will go, hey, I've called and called and called. But then when you go back and check, there won't be any on record.
Well, let me just tell you this.
Because in reality, that's what's going to
let me tell you a real reality. You can test me on this while I'm talking, Stephanie. You can do it right now if you want to.
Okay.
There's no number to call to go straight to code enforcement.
No.
Public, I want you to hear this.
There isn't. I know the woman's name by now because I've called so much.
How crazy? How crazy is that?
What is that look for?
How crazy is that?
There's no way.
You have to call Public Works.
Here we go. These headphones are about to come off. I'm about to go outside.
There is no
as a citizen
straight to code enforcement. Why? So when we talk about fixing the problem,
I got the lady who runs its private email because that's the only way I can reach code enforcement.
You can have my notebook because the rest of these questions.
When we talk about fixing the problem, we have to look both at the external problems and the internal problems that are part of the overall problem.
And
go to the next question.
Well,
Oz, I can't because they build on the fact.
They go back to the first question.
They build.
Do you know how I do stuff? Do you remember that? Here's how this works.
I think you should put them out there. Anyway.
But look, here's how he's asked these questions.
I think
here's rule number 1. Here's rule number 3. And if you don't like rule number 4, go back to rule number 1. And that's how his questions are written.
Right, you're about to get a great big shit. Is what?
Okay, go for number 2.
All right. Okay. So, gosh, here's a completely worthless question that would build congruently on the first one. So, what's the policy for a citizen to do? Well, apparently I can't call anybody. So maybe I should just walk up and down the street and throw my arms up and get all the other community going, yeah, you're right, Mike. You're right, Mike. And nothing will get done because there's no way to contact them.
Well,
there's nobody set.
Maybe I should flag you down.
Needs to,
when you're driving down the street. Hey, Oz, wait.
So
wait, Oz, wait. I'm post one, Mike.
Let's word it this way. Let's word it this way. No matter what happens after the election, no matter who gets elected, whoever is the chief and commander of our county needs to set up a guideline. I don't care if it's the guy that gets reelected or a guy that gets newly elected. Somebody needs to set up.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you right now. The hell you don't.
Well,
that's why you gotta. You cannot fix the problem with the same mindset that started it in the first place. So let me just nip this in the bud.
I'm just trying to say somebody needs to set up a rule. Don't let me take over your radio station. This is what we have to do.
Let me just tell you this right here.
Yeah, but you know I'm supposed to be non-biased.
Well, then be quiet and let me talk. Here it is. Here's the thing. There's a temporary solution to the issue right now. And what it is, you don't have a number you can call in direct to code enforcement, but you ought to call the chairman's office. Yeah. And here's that number, 770-278-7003. And if there was ever a time that you should be getting a response, it's probably right now during election season. 770-278-7003. That'll go straight through, and you get the best customer service from his administrative assistant, by the way. She loves talking to people, especially tax-paying Rockdale citizens. Now, that's the person who can dispatch and delegate which person, whether it's code enforcement, whether it's animal control, whatever department that will address the issue. That goes, that if you're my assistant, then you're supposed to be assisting me and communicating with me to keep me abreast on what is going on.
Oh, yeah, watch Mike's question. Watch Mike's question.
Is she doing it or is the commissioner doing it?
Because that's what I was going to say.
I don't know about
She's not supposed to be doing the job.
Listen, you asked, I'm not in that office. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I can't tell you what's not going on.
Sir, as a citizen of Rockdale County, talking to a post one current commissioner, the man running for the job, I am asking you, with your knowledge, who is making that call? Is it the commissioner or is it his assistant?
Well, the people elected the commissioner.
Not her.
So I know that. And
the people want a response from the commissioner.
I'm responsible for my own haircut.
But we all are intelligent enough to know that secretaries and administrative assistants serves as filters.
And what is her training? And I didn't elect her, sir.
Well, you are expecting that professional government office to go have some type of organization and a process that if you call, it's no different than getting a receptionist. That when you call, that you believe the person taking the call is going to get your message through.
I didn't elect her.
But he understands
you didn't pay the office manager at your doctor's office either. But before you see that damn doctor, you got to talk to the office manager.
But it also
but the office manager doesn't give me a shot, does she?
Yeah, but you ain't gonna get nothing if you don't get through to that office manager.
I'm fixing to throw my pen at you.
Throw it,
but what? And I'm saying this, redneck Stephanie McDaniel, is the commissioner is being lazy, or the chairman is being lazy and allowing his people to do his job while he sits back and gets his fat wallet.
What is his assistant's name?
Well, you can pull all that up.
You're my commissioner. What is her name?
Katrina Holloway.
Okay, is this the same Katrina Holloway?
This is a public.
Is this the same Katrina Holloway that was arrested for unemployment fraud?
Which is public record.
Wait a minute, Scotty. Wait a minute.
I mean, allegedly there was warrants issued.
Scotty, I'm not going to allow you to back me into a conversation.
I'm not backing you. I just was trying to make sure this is the same lady that we're discussing. So this is the same lady.
I want you to discuss that at a different time. I don't have anything. As a matter of fact, you need to clear this up for the record.
So you had nothing to do with this. I just wanted to verify, was this the same lady's name? Because we're saying if the chairman's not doing his job and his assistant's doing his job, but isn't this the same lady that I was told to go investigate for her arrest record, her mugshot,
now who are you
her
asking
charges?
that question?
I'm making a statement that's a blanketed statement. I'm not asking you nothing.
Oh, okay.
My point was, is this the same lady? Because if me and Mike and Stephanie are all citizens of Rockdale County, and we're having to call a lady who is an assistant who has this kind of information, and she's sitting in a public office, then we need to question why she's sitting in a public office, because we elected him. We didn't elect her. And that's my statement. And if somebody wants to sue me, make me famous. Let's go to court. But if I can go find these on public records, I had an informant send me this information. If I can go find this on public record, which should be out there at public access, if we can find this on public record, because this is what allegedly is taking place here. So sue me for slander, but if I can go allegedly find any of this, then it's actually 100% true. And my informant sent me this.
We've gotten off track. I want to go back to the question that Mike has.
Well, the question was the assistant, but isn't that who we're talking about?
No, we're not. We were talking about policy and procedure and how the flow of the operation inside the office. Now, the intelligent part tells you that if you call any office, chances are you're going to get the gatekeeper, which is the secretary or the administrative assistant. In the case of trying to reach the chairman, you are going to get his secretary. That's nothing unusual. I want to make sure I don't confuse, because hell, when I become chairman, you're still going to talk to a secretary.
Which she should be taking the
long
message
as she has no warrants.
Which she should be taking the message for you, taking the message to you, making sure you get that message so that you,
it's called communication,
as the chairman, can address the situation that was called on.
And
because I'm the elected official.
Exactly.
Here's another listener, and
You're
man,
right,
she's been lighting me up, and I've not been able to get this. This is a woman that has been a Rockdale citizen for over 30 years. He said okay, let me make sure, because the way I read, he has had a voice and has not used it. Oh. Sorry, but hold on, I'm reading what a listener said, and y'all keep your mouth shut.
Let him read it.
But and he come, and this is the hot seat, man. She's asking, and the citizens have a right to ask these questions.
That's fine. Let her read it. Read the question.
Sorry, but these were his views prior to him running for this office. Now, this does go back to 8:47, which goes back to where we were, 15 minutes ago at this point, because you got to remember the questions come a few minutes after we talk about it. I'm just gonna move forward. Frankly, he has started talking about this since he started running for office. He says that we are getting in a complete I'm trying to scan so that it all comes out easier. So I'm just getting that because he has no ability to represent his situation based on part-time basis. That's just the fast version of it.
Okay, so let me clear up what she's trying to say. She says,
there's 4 different messages because I didn't go to them.
Let me clear up what she's trying to say. She's saying, because I've been in office for 8 years, I haven't had a real voice in terms of getting things done, simply because there hasn't been any collaboration between the part-time commissioners and the chairman. He's either the highway or the byway when it comes with the chairman. The chairman is the day-to-day responsible person on the ground all day, every day in the county. If he doesn't have good, cohesive workmanship with the other 2 commissioners, then you're not going to get anything done. Now, if a citizen calls me right now, here's what I should do. Take the call, concern, issue, and complaint. Get a hold of the chief of staff, articulate my concern to the chief of staff, and hopefully that person would communicate with the chairman, and together they will get it resolved on behalf of me and the citizen that called me.
Right.
Well, what has happened over the last year, more people have bypassed that system because they're frustrated, and they're coming straight to me because I will come out and I will be on the scene, and I will make an attempt to get some things done by being present.
So I can assume in this meaning, phone calls may have been made to a secretary or an assistant to handle something. Nothing was handled. Now they're reaching out to you.
Well, if they haven't had a response,
okay.
If the chairman didn't come out, if he didn't drive that vehicle out to the scene,
right?
If he didn't come out there and lay his eyes on it and see what I see, or see what the citizens saw, then there's a disconnect.
And you can tell by what's happening here today, there is not a biased anything happening here. We are asking 100% straight up questions that the citizens are asking.
If no one has a sense of urgency inside of the government when a citizen's makes a call, and dispatch the appropriate service provider out there to wherever the issue is, that sends a message to the citizens that we don't care or we take a nonchalant approach.
Right.
But they would love to see, as often as time will allow, the chairman or one of the commissioners actually respond.
Now, I got this from another listener, and it basically ends with a question that more explains the statement as it starts. So I'm gonna start with the ending one that says, define your position. And the reason is because in the question it says, in his current duty as a part-time commissioner only, and this is the question, is his current position or current duty only part-time commissioner to vote on issues that come across the commissioner's desk? Define your position. So if you're not the chairman,
let me define it.
And Mike, you're rubbing your eyes, but the listeners and
so
just as you and I and Stephanie are citizens, we have a right to ask these questions.
So let me define my position. Because if you keep talking, I'm not going to be able to define it. So here's the definition of my position. As part-time commissioner, I report into the county building on every Tuesday, okay? My role includes allocating funds for the budget, for the operating calendar year, and setting policy. As a hands-on, concerned, dedicated, committed commissioner of this community, I get involved in actually what's going on inside the community, and I serve as a listening board and as a voice on behalf of those people who are voiceless. Now, I need to be able to articulate those concerns to the chief of staff who works on behalf of all three commissioners to serve as the communicator. There is something called the Sunshine Law that prevents us from collaborating two together because there'll be a quorum. So the chief of staff serves as that mediator or that liaison, should I say, to go back to the chairman. I just got a call from Commissioner Nesbitt. He received a call from a citizen that has a complaint about a pothole on McCalla Road that's been out there for years and years and years, and it's only been patch on top of patch on top of patch on top of patch on top of patch. And now Commissioner Nesbitt wants to know, when is this road slated for a complete resurfacing and overhaul to get rid of the patches that he continues to get calls about?
Yes.
And when will we send somebody out to get this done?
Right.
That's how it works.
And one of our patches, matter of fact, out here has actually called.
Stay on topic.
I'm staying on topic because we're talking about patches.
But we're talking about the procedure
my show,
and the protocol.
My show. I'm gonna pull that card. We have a problem right now where one of the patches has been done, and it's actually caused a pothole in the street and caused a swell in front of the water drain off, and nobody fixes it. And there's been tons of phone calls made. That's where it kind of goes back to people. There's no command. Somebody needs to say,
they making the phone call.
Of course, code enforcement. But that's why I'm saying it goes back to your chairman's supposed to be your chief and commander. He's supposed to delegate the order that things are supposed to be done. And us simple people who pay y'all salaries have to make phone calls.
And the two part-time commissioners,
yes,
are not responsible.
That's right.
For day-to-day operations.
Okay, here's
who is
from somebody that had text in a well. I'm just saying we haven't seen you show any sense of urgency prior to you running. He's got plenty of vocal now that he's running, and it says, I'm not trying to fight about this. I'm just pointing out the obvious. We've got another one, and they're still rolling in.
And let's stop right there, because that's a person that's obviously haven't been keeping up with Oz Nesbitt for the last 8 years.
Well, it says, why haven't you been fighting like this for the last 8 years since you've been in public office? And it really just said that's right there.
And that says that that's a person who is not and has not been paying attention to Oz Nesbitt for the last 8 years.
Yep.
Because if they were, they would know that I've been on the ground for 8 years and I'm not just showing up on the scene.
Right.
So that person should be able to say right now to themselves, he's right. I've just started paying attention to him in the last year.
Yeah.
And I've not been paying attention for this man's whole 8 year of service.
That's somebody who doesn't like you, Oz.
And don't know me.
No, it's at the same time as people are only going by what they can visually see.
Well,
truthfully, think about the visual aspect. I tried telling you this on the phone the other day. As far as what people see, they see you everywhere now. But their fear is.
Did you hear what Stephanie said a minute ago?
I'm covering what this person.
They haven't seen this other person because they don't even know what the other person looks like.
I am leading to this.
Go ahead.
So as I told you the other day, you're considered the man right now. Everybody is seeing you everywhere. The problem is nobody's seeing the chairman anywhere. And when people ask this other person that's running for chairman seat, all the answers are, well, it's the guy that's the tax commissioner. And they go, who the hell is that? Nobody knows who these other people are that's running for office. And that's where people are going, oh, my God, Oz is everywhere. But is he going to stay this person if he becomes chairman? So that's not even a question. That was a statement that was made.
Yeah, but you got to clear up what that other person said about me just now getting on the scene.
But that's what people are visually saying. They're seeing it on Facebook because they see it everywhere now.
Yeah, but I do take some offense to that because I have been committed, consistent, and caring about this community the entire 8 years of my tenure in my service. So these are people who are just now starting to pay attention. That's what they're doing. But I've been working my ass off like this for 8 years.
Right.
So I don't know what the hell that person is talking about. And I hope you're listening. So scroll through my Facebook page over the last 6 or 7 years. Go to the county website and scroll down some of the past meetings now, over the 6 and 7 years, and you will see.
You brought up something about
educate yourself that, well,
past meeting, and like an hour ago, this one message came in, but we weren't on a part of this to discuss. So I'm kind of going back without even. I'm paraphrasing, listener. Listener, do not take offense if I say
this seat is hot, but I've got a temperature button over here, baby.
I was asked to ask you earlier, like an hour ago, when something was getting discussed about you taking more of an initiative to do things. But the question was more or less, how can you say you're going to take more of an initiative when you voted on some of the same things that he voted on? And that was said earlier, listener. If I worded that wrong, please reword it to me to make sure I word it correctly.
Well, let me just tell you what these people are talking about. First of all, these calls and complaints that we're getting related to the community as it relates to potholes, code enforcement issues, these quality of life issues, those issues are not coming to the board as items to vote on. Now, we have talked about as a board the issue of hiring and putting more people in the code enforcement department. But I've said, let's look at the protocol. Let's look at the best practices and the procedures first and find out first, Stephanie, are we practicing what we preach? Mm-hmm. Are we following protocol and doing what we need to do in terms of the procedures, the internal procedures? Before I just go hire a bunch of people, let's first make sure the people that we have, Mike, are doing what needs to be done. Because it may not be an issue of manpower, it may be a process problem. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the process first. And then ultimately, don't miss this, DJ Scottie, ultimately, if it turns out to be a people problem and we need more manpower, then we will look at that. But let's not jump to get more people first. So some of these things have come. But for the most part, I want people to understand this. Day-to-day issues, quality of life issues, potholes, code enforcement, those kind of issues, they seldom make it to post 1 or post 2 unless I get a direct call, from a citizen themselves. Otherwise, I know nothing about it.
Right.
Because the system,
because it goes through whoever answers the phone.
And it should, because that person is responsible for day-to-day operations. But when day-to-day operations neglect what's happening in the community, these problems mount up.
But you do know that,
and they say, "Well, hell, I'm going to call Oz."
A captain of a ship is responsible for the ship. If 5 people quit rowing this boat, the captain still has to answer for it. So if phone calls are being made to an assistant and the assistant isn't doing her job, whether she's doing her job or not, he's still not doing his job because it's his job to maintain the awesomeness. That's the job. And you're asking for that seat. I mean, you do know, it's just like when Donald Ferguson sat here and said what he said about running for sheriff. And I said, you're probably not going to like me if you get elected because I'm going to demand out of you the same thing I demand out of the sheriff we have now. Because we as the citizens have a voice to be heard. Y'all work for us. We have questions that deserve to be answered. And furthermore, with us being the media, we have people sending us these questions to ask. We expect answers, and therefore, unfortunately, this has turned into a little hot seat for you today. But you know the really cool thing?
I don't think so at all.
You're willing to come do it.
I'm here all the time.
How about the other cat that says the chairman doesn't want to come to our debate because he doesn't want to be worried about answering our questions? Is he going to send his assistant to answer his questions?
Yeah, are you going to
go ahead and do that. I dare you.
So anyways, let's go to a commercial. Everybody, we'll be right back. I'm telling you that it's hot up in here. I'm actually going to play a song for this. So I just think, good Lord, if you think about it, the questions are rolling in. We'll be right back. Everybody's just fun in the morning.
Now,
watch what song's coming up too. Watch this song.
So when you finally get this call, somebody's going to find you. All right, Scotty. Richard Odom is ready to come on the show.
I wish.
Y'all gonna tone it down and change it up?
Hell no.
Hell no, because you're my chairman, and I've had every right in the world to ask these questions. And these citizens, this phone has not stopped. These citizens are demanding answers. And you know what it is? We're getting closer to elections.
But here's the thing. And you did what I'm gonna say, you did clear that up. They don't have nobody to voice this with other than me.
Right. So you're gonna get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You and me are in the same position. You know why? These people
you're out there.
Listen, half the people know they can reach out to you and talk to you. But all these people right here, all this crap that we're getting lit up with, and I don't mean crap, I mean disrespectful. I mean all these questions is because we're the only people they can talk to. They can't get to anybody of importance. They call code enforcement, they get the shuffle. They call animal control, they get the shuffle.
There is no phone number for code enforcement.
The office, they get the shuffle.
No.
They have to find you and me on Facebook. And anybody watching, I'm sorry, but this is the effing truth.
You know what I was going to do is I was going to go
through. You aren't
going to
censor this.
I was going to go through and read all the things you've been to, right, on about 100 of those posts. And then I was going to go, oh, yeah, by the way, this is just April.
Well, you should.
Yeah, this is just April. Because I was counting. I got to about 70 posts. And I was about to say, okay, so you've done all this stuff, Oz. Yeah. Well, I think the listener should know this since April 1. Okay. So anybody, and what? You get paid $25,000 a year, which is $480 a week. So let's just take how many times you've posted and divide it. Yeah. Yeah. Like the soldiers, right? You're getting paid like 72 cents an hour. And you got to drive your own car. I know. I ain't doing it that way. I'm getting
a new car and he still ain't coming to shit.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah. And he's letting us he's letting a non-elected official make decisions in the community.
About Oz coming up in his 1998 Infiniti to every damn thing, and the citizen just paid for a brand new car for him to ride around in. He
still ain't showed up.
I know you want the heat off.
But I bet it goes to his house every night, though, don't it?
It sure does.
And the fuel.
And I'm going to bring up the fact when we go back live, I'm going to say y'all do realize how much heat Oz is taking. But you do. Wait, hold on. I want to be clear. No, I'm going to be clear. I want to say this. I'm going to say, look how much heat he's taking and he's willing to take, and we can't even get the other guy to answer the phone.
And he's the one who's responsible.
And he's the one responsible.
You're a bitch.
Me?
No,
oh.
I sorry I got mad.
Y'all got to kiss and make up now.
You got mad.
What? No, just the process. I'm just apologizing because I probably shouldn't walk away from that.
But that aggravation's real, Mike. It's what we've been all dealing with.
Look, you know me. I am a guy that in the military for 28 years, my job was to look at processes, to shoot holes in them, and report back to the commanders. I started asking you basic questions. Hell, Oz, I didn't get to my question.
It was legit questions that there should be an answer
question is where the breakdown is.
Answer them. Ask them anyways. Yeah. Go back and ask them.
All right, let's go.
Because I got two commercials coming up.
That the damn problem is.
But here's the thing. As citizens, whether this is a touchy subject or not, as citizens, we all have this right. This is what I try to scream to people every day about their constitutional rights.
What happened?
That's why I got that lawyer that's going to come in and have a nice long talk. Who I call every time somebody tries to violate my freedom of speech. I go make my phone call to my attorney.
Oh, is that one call? That's all.
I rather have sex.
It's kind of like that.
I rather have sex with Chelsea Clinton.
Wow.
Then what?
Then talk to the commissioner of this county.
Oh my God.
And y'all know
And
how
that
I
was
feel.
live on YouTube.
And we know how you feel about Chelsea
You know
Clinton.
how I feel about Chelsea Clinton, exactly.
Oh, so that's not like the Taylor Swift deal?
No, God, oh my! Did you? I will come over the table.
You're drunk.
I've got somebody saying
You got
this
mad
is,
too. So I don't
hey! I got somebody saying this is effed up, and I don't even live in Rockdale County.
Okay, well, good. Because some of the other people that are commenting, the only reason they're commenting is because they don't like Oz.
No.
Hold on.
Shut up. You got your thong in a wad this morning.
I'm not wearing one.
This comment is, this is effed up, meaning there's not a procedure. There's nobody taking responsibility. He's been this gentleman's comments all morning has been, how in the hell is this real?
Yeah, it's like a bad reality show. Seriously. You got this going on in
Stop. We're going to go back, and I want you to start right back to what you were saying. All right, I'm on to address this. All right, we're back, and we just had one of my listeners say, man, this is effed up, and I don't even live in Rockdale County. And he's addressing the fact of this is insane. There's no procedures. There's nobody taking responsibility. There's nobody doing nothing. We've got a cat that we're just and I'm not even throwing it out there other than we're paying you to run our town, and nobody. It's running itself. It's like me taking my kid to hypothetically taking my kid to a daycare. And we put 15 babies in a room or 15 toddlers, let's say that, 15 toddlers in a room, and have a teacher playing on her iPhone. And the kids just run amok. That's what we've got here. We've got a county that's the second smallest county in Georgia, and it's running amok. Who's playing daddy? Who's going to be grandpa? Who is going to be the one to come and crack that whip and say, listen, kids, y'all got to start doing your JOB, because if you ain't doing your JOB, then you don't need to have that title for the JOB.
And by the way, Oz.
All right, go back to what you were on.
And by the way, Oz, for the last 8 years, you haven't been doing his job. So does that make it? Because that's about as much freaking sense as this is all making me.
Well, this is the bad part is Oz at his position has a limitation, and the other guy has an ability, but he doesn't use it. Here's the whole thing I also wanted to toss out, and this ain't on Oz's behalf. This is me reporting it and seeing it from my point of view. I find it extremely funny that this guy volunteers to come in here and be just hammered like meat with a 15-pound sledgehammer. He is willing to come here and take all the abuse that actually 100% is aimed towards the command-in-chief of our county.
But he's the only guy.
But he's the only one willing to answer for it.
Well, he's the only guy we can get in touch with.
So,
he's the only face that I recognize, and it's not just because I see it every morning.
Now,
Oz, that says a lot about you.
Me and Mike have been extremely hot-headed over the last hour. What have you actually wanted to ask? Now that we've taken a breath, had a little Buster Poindexter play.
This better be good, Steph.
You better get in where you fit in.
Do I fit in here?
No.
Yes, you do. You're a citizen of this county. You have every reason to ask whatever you want to ask.
Lake owner.
Okay.
Well, she lives next to it. It's not the same.
I can get
focus, squirrel.
Anyways, so recently I was looking for a home, and I was looking in different counties, because as we were looking, a lot of people said, yeah, you need to get out of Rockdale County, because Rockdale's becoming another DeKalb, and it's becoming little DeKalb. So because a lot of people, I don't care if you know how I feel or not, but I am.
We're supposed to be non-biased, by the way.
You are.
Okay, sorry.
I don't have to be.
That's right.
And I am 100% in support of Oz.
Thank
when
you
you are elected, what as a chairman are you going to try to do to make people want to come to Rockdale County? Because let me tell you, 15 years ago when I moved into this county, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I didn't have to worry about my kids getting in trouble.
My family's been here since right at 80, 79, 80.
Mhm.
And we've watched it.
Yeah,
change.
it's go-
and I want to clear up too. When I've made a comment at the library one night and said that we wanted our Little Mayberry back.
Yes.
And a lot of people see that the wrong way. When I say Little Mayberry, I mean we don't have to freak out about locking our doors. We don't have to worry about leaving a tricycle in the front yard. You know, I don't leave anything of value sitting in my front yard and go in the house because I just don't. So that's what my comments are when I say Little Mayberry back. I've had somebody with the Democratic Party make a suggestive comment that I was being racist, saying that I was trying to say I want it back all white. That's not what safety has nothing to do with color. So I want to be clear on that.
So there's several things that has to be done. And as you know, public safety is my top #1 concern in this county. And I think when we are trying to market and brand Rockdale County, the message that we send to those people that's coming east and westbound on I-20, we need to make sure that this is a destination location, but it's a positive place to come to. But more importantly, it has to be a safe place to come to. And it has to be a safe place to live. You just talked about the fact that you chosen to purchase a home in Rockdale County. Now, the #1 reason why people choose a location to live is because of their school system. That's the #1 across the country. The #1 reason is public schools.
Yes.
The second #1A is public safety. How safe is the community? Is it a place that I can raise my children, have my family, operate my business? Will I feel safe in the community? So public safety is my #1 concern. We are not DeKalb. We're not Cobb, Fulton. We're not City of Atlanta. We're not Gwinnett. We're not Clayton. We're none of those places. And I don't want us to be. What I do want to make sure that the people that are coming into this community and they're bringing harm or thinking to do something wrong, I want to send a strong message to them that if you come to Rockdale County and you come in here the wrong way, baby, we got a message for you and we're going to take care of business.
Right.
I want to partner with my sheriff to give him all the tools and resources that he needs to get the job done and to keep us safe. So as you can hear, public safety will always be my #1 top priority. All of the other things that we can talk about on my platform are important, but there's nothing as important as your safety.
That's right.
And the safety of your family. So you can rest assured that my 15 years of law enforcement, my 8 years as your Post 1 commissioner, and my clear understanding of family, community, and business will make sure Rockdale County is a safe place. So I want to say to all of those people who say that Rockdale is becoming East DeKalb, I'm going to say to you, no, we're not. And under my watch, we damn sure won't become East anybody.
And with that,
and I'm going to make sure of that.
Here's what just came through from a listener. I'm from Newton County. And Rockdale used to be considered the upper class / better of the two counties. I am so ready to go back to Newton County. I've lived in Rockdale County for 4 years and would love to sell my house and move. The next comment was, schools sucks, the safety ? I fear sitting on my front porch in my living room due to the streets being unsafe around me. We don't hear about half the crimes because their way of dealing with it seems to be keeping it quiet and not letting us know what's happening on our streets.
Well, let me say this. First of all, what we need people to do is get involved. It's easy to do Monday morning quarterbacking. It's easy to talk about all the problems and issues that's going on in any particular community. But my question to the listeners, what are you doing? Have you taken ownership to get involved in your community? Have you reached out to your local sheriff? Have you contacted your local county commissioner? If you live in Rockdale, my number is everywhere. Here it is again, 770-624-9446. 770-624-9446. If you put Oz Nesbitt in on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you will find me. I am easy and accessible to get a hold of. I want to hear from you, but I want you to get involved. I don't just want your complaints. I need to know that you are a registered voter and that you're taking an active role in making your community a better place. If you just want to moan, gripe, and complain, I'm not that guy.
Right.
I want you to go shoulder to shoulder with me, elbow to elbow, trench to trench, door to door, church to church, community to community, small business to small business, and let's make a difference in our own community. I have a way to empower this community to get them collectively involved. But I want to say to the people who are just complaining and griping, what have you done as a productive citizen to make a difference other than launch your complaint?
Right.
Are
you got one, or can I go? What?
I was just going to ask, when I was growing up, I grew up in the cab. I grew up in Scottdale. In our community, we had a neighborhood watch. So how can we get the neighborhoods to come together and create their own neighborhood watch and be?
Honestly, if I could, real quick.
Hold on, I got a phone call just for fun.
Hey, Scott, it's Alex.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. So I have a couple of, one question and a follow-up, which I hope will clear up a little confusion, because I'm confused. I'm an educated man, and I'd like to have this sorted out. Oz, on the one hand, you say that as Post 1 commissioner, your hands were tied by you said my way or the highway chairman, and that it wasn't your job to be out in the community on a day-to-day basis handling business.
These are the tough questions, by the way.
Yeah, when somebody asked you about that, you said that you, for the last 8 years, you said they obviously haven't followed Oz Nesbitt, because for the last 8 years you have been out in the community on a day-to-day basis getting things done. Now, it can't be both. You can't have had your hands tied in one respect and been out there every day in the other. Also, as a follow-up, if as Post 1 commissioner, your position was effectively impotent because of the current chairman, why do those posts even exist? And if they do exist, how do you plan to integrate those posts into your administration so that they are more effective positions?
That's very, very good question.
So let me respond. And I first of all, thank you for your questions. They are very valid. All of them are intertwined. And here's what I mean. There has to be clear communication across the board with the 3 board of commissioners and members within Rockdale County. The chief of staff has to be effective enough to serve as that chief liaison to communicate the concerns from Post 1, Post 2, as well as the chairman's office as it relates to things in Rockdale County. Now, as Post 1 commissioner, my job is not to run the day-to-day management and operation of the staff and activity. Like right now, I'm here at the radio station. There should be the chairman and all of the people that report to him on the county campus, in the county office, responding to calls, concerns, complaints, and issues of running this county on a day-to-day basis. When the citizens find that they cannot get the kind of response they want out of the chairman's office, they have a relationship with one of the other 2 commissioners. They directly call on those people to get involved. Now, I always respond to those people that call on me about a community concern. I'll give that information to my chief of staff. In addition, or as a plus, on often occasions, I may also respond to the scene and get out there and be involved myself and be present. Because a lot of times people simply want to see you and know that you're concerned and that you will respond and be actively on the scene. Now, in terms of the day-to-day overall summary of what happens with how to fix the potholes, how to deal with the code enforcement issues or the animal control issues, that has to be orchestrated out of the day-to-day manager's office, which again is the chairman. On a regular basis, the majority of these 8 years, on any given day, you find me where? On my job, taking care of my family. Now, that doesn't stop my phone from ringing from citizens or getting a text message or an email, which I check throughout my regular workday, and I respond according to my schedule based upon my availability. But the day-to-day person. So overall, what am I saying? My commitment, my passion, my consistency to be involved in this community and be on the ground, I know that I can do a greater service for Rockdale County as the chairperson, and that I'll be able to take all of this energy, all of my concern and passion, and really put it to play. As relate to what I haven't been able to do, it's because I don't need to interfere with what's going on in day-to-day management. That is not my job. Even when I become the chairman, I'm looking to build a good rapport with the Post 1 and Post 2 commissioners, so that if they have concerns coming from constituents who are calling on them, that we can take those concerns, filter them, and expedite getting a resolve and getting an answer to those people that's out in the community. Keep in mind, there's a ton of people that know Oz Nesbitt, there's a ton of people that knows Commissioner Williams, and there's a ton of people that knows Chairman Oden. They're going to call on the one they have a relationship with and that they feel is going to get the job done and bring results. A lot of people who are calling me today, they don't know me from Adam's House Cat, but they've heard that I will come out to the scene, that I will bring results, that I will not only rock the boat, I'll tilt it over if needs be. So that's why you hear Oz and you see Oz all over the place. And a lot of what I've done over the last 8 years.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just love the part that you even put in an effort that we don't see on anybody else.
Well, I think what I've done over the last 8 years, people have seen so much activity with me being in the community. It has confused people. They think I'm actually in the office every day. And some people,
the visual effect.
Some people really do think that I'm the chairman.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Chairman Oden has only been on Facebook 6 months.
And you know what's funny? He's actually on my friends list, but we've never actually corresponded. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Okay, well, I appreciate the answer. So is it safe to assume that as chairman, if the new Post 1 commissioner wants to be involved the way you have been as Post 1 commissioner, that you will work to remove the frustrations and roadblocks that you ran headlong into?
Yes, sir. And not only will I work to remove it, it won't exist. I'm going to encourage the Post 1 and Post 2 find different initiatives inside of the community that they personalize and make them their own and get out and get involved. I've given away hams and turkeys and bicycles. I help with job fairs and job readiness programs. I want those other 2 commissioners to find something that is near and dear to their heart and get involved in. And guess what I want to do? I want to endorse it. I want to make sure we take it to the next level.
So can I say teamwork?
Teamwork makes the dream work. And you're absolutely right. And I really appreciate what this caller is saying, because that is so important that we work in harmony, and it doesn't have to be a one-man or one-person show.
Is there someone currently running for Post 1?
There's several.
Seven people running for Post 1.
There's 7 of them.
Okay.
Wow.
And you ought to have all 7 sitting right here.
I didn't even know there was anybody.
You ought to have all 7 of them sitting right here.
We're going to keep
throwing
it out.
I've had 2 of them on my show.
Yeah, Alex has had 2 on the night show.
I know.
Alex, you ought to run.
Oz, I appreciate the answers. That cleared up a lot of my confusion. I hope it did for other people.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for your time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for calling in.
And whoever was just calling in, please call back. I do want to go backwards a little bit, because I've got a lady that says, you know, I'm at work at a cubicle. I can't just answer so fast. But she goes back to the whole part of when you said that, what have you done to get out in your community and help? And that was about the same time Stephanie was bringing up the whole neighborhood watch. We don't get paid to fight criminals. Our tax dollars are paid out to assure our safety and strong leadership. And I have a full-time job, and I'm trying to raise a small child.
So, and I understand that, because she's just like so many citizens in Rockdale County. But when I talk about community involvement, here's what I'm talking about. Pick up the phone, build a relationship with your HOA, start a homeowners association, get a hold of the Crime Watch, a neighborhood watch program, through your local police department or your local sheriff's office, and they will do what you're paying them to do. They will facilitate. But here's the thing. The sheriff don't just go into communities and start these things.
You have to
the people in the subdivision, in the community, in the homeowners association have to say, listen, this is what we want. We want to make our place a better, safer, greater place. And we're going to contact the sheriff's office, and they have people designated to help with this. And they can contact in the future, as chairman, they can contact the chairman's office too and find out what resources and what things are available coming out of the Board of Commissioners office to support their efforts of making sure they have a great community. So when I say get involved, it includes several basic things: picking up the phone, sending a text message, or perhaps sending an email. And in this world of social media, guess where I say you can find me? On Facebook.
Facebook.
And with that being said, we got to go to a commercial. I do want to throw this out. I just had another text shoot in. And because it's only been the morning show, the other two people have been on the night show with Alex. They've not tried to get on the morning show, which has a lot more listeners, to be able to get. I'm not trying to pick at Alex, but I'm saying it's going to get the word out because everybody's listening at work. I've got out of 7, we only hear from Oz. You do have to commend him for that. So that was from a listener that just sent that out, because people know that they've been hearing you come back and forth since way before this campaign started.
Yeah.
So that at least is throwing that out there. You truly have been the only one that has really made an effort to want to make sure his voice is heard, to explain why he wants to run.
I appreciate you saying it, but let me just say this. It's in my DNA. I enjoy being involved in the community. My true passion about community involvement is almost to the point that I really can't control it myself. So I don't really need any credit. It's what I do. It's like the police officer that tells you, well, I'm not a hero. This is what I do. So the firefighter that saves someone from a burning house, that's what he's supposed to do.
This just came in. We all do know it takes a team. I'll make sure I get this right. I'm going to have to fix my phone to make it start spelling it better or lining up better. Not defending him, but golly, it moves so fast.
I know, that's
stop texting for a second. But he can only be as strong as his team.
That's right.
So he is making an effort and would be more effective with a stronger team. It's great. Let me scroll back. It's great to be learning the chain of command, because that's, of course, why we're having to ask this. Another person just chimed in because we have this huge group thing that a lot of listeners listen to.
Now, what were they referring to?
Discussing you bringing up that it does take a strong team. Teamwork is always better. Things always work better when people come together instead of working against each other. A chain is only as strong as its links.
That's right. It's weak.
So that's just where I was going. Anybody else have anything? We do need to shoot off to a commercial real quick. Do we got a quick question? Are we going to lead to anything or go to commercial?
Because I am going to head out about 9:45.
Okay, let's shoot off to commercial real quick.
10 o'clock.
And let's shoot right back as quick as possible to address anything else.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, my head is actually.
I know, my eyes.
From reading.
Thursday night?
Wednesday night. At 7 o'clock, and you're welcome.
As in tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. And there's a chair. There's a open invitation. You have a chair any Wednesday
right
you want. Yes, sir. Okay. If you
push me about 6 o'clock.
I'm just. I know.
The debates next night.
The 23rd. Yeah.
What if we figure a place? And to tell anybody, if you want to get your voice heard before the debate, now's time.
Because
some of these cats say they're working daytimes and they can't come in. Right. I got you.
I got 10 and 9 questions. 10 for the.
And see, I don't want to, because of my being dyslexic, I don't want to have to ask a whole lot. I just really want to MC it and keep it moving.
These are big questions. I mean, specific stuff. Get wrapped around the axle.
They're paragraphs.
Because somebody's got to keep this ball moving. Yeah. And if all of us are so busy trying to ask questions, nobody's going to keep the ball moving. And you know me, I'm a stickler on the clock. We got to keep it moving.
Oh, two, it's supposed to be.
And everybody that's going to be holding my microphones, anybody that ever wants to ask a question other than people up standing up in the stage type area, they'll be speaking to a mic on a stand. But anybody that starts to ask a question, if it gets out of hand, one of you that's holding one of my expensive microphones, you pull the microphone away. We're not going to do stupid, but most likely only us holding microphones will be asking questions. I just was starting to think, with me being dyslexic, I don't want to screw up and ask a question wrong when I know you're on it, Alex is on it, yeah. Denise can be on it.
Well,
yeah,
I'm just chopped liver.
Jeez. You can ask all the redneck questions.
Where's Denise?
School, doing her schooling.
You know, I like working for an answer. One, when you guys pointed out there. Because you know as well as I know.
He's something else.
Good thing you knew nothing about that. You know why everybody's scared? Everybody's scared of me because they know I practice my freedom of speech.
And when you start saying that,
and everybody is terrified. That's why they're scared of me at the debate. That's why I saw people at this meeting the other night just looking at me because they're thinking I can set a rule up, but don't mean he's going to abide by it. There's no rule known by man that's going to stop me.
Also, too, you realize
we have the right to ask these questions.
Right there could change.
Well, you know how I'm going to correct it, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do.
And let me ask, as a chairman, so each position, let me word it this way, because I look at everything as a food pyramid, and we've got like 60 seconds. So I look at everything as a food pyramid, and I look at the animal control boss is here, the code enforcement boss is here, and everybody under that just stands under the pyramid. Do all these bosses have to still answer to the chairman? So he's ultimately responsible.
They're called directors.
Okay.
All the directors serve at the pleasure of the chairman.
And that's what I've always assumed.
With the exception of 3 people: the finance director, the county attorney, and the chief of staff.
Okay.
Those 3 people report to all 3 of us.
Okay.
I'm the boss of the finance director.
Okay.
I'm the boss of the chief of staff, and I'm the boss of the county attorney.
20 seconds.
So in order to get rid of one of those people,
you all 3 have to vote on it.
It takes 2 of us.
Well, of course. Well, yeah.
Get rid of
them. You guys got me so mad this morning.
Mike lost it when Mike went to go sit on the steps because all your important questions meant nothing at that point.
Yeah, I had a whole page of questions.
All right, we're squeezing back in real fast. We're at 9:39. Oz got to get out of here in just a few minutes. Anybody else that has anything else, anything, please reach out to us really quick.
It better be good too.
I just want to thank Oz for even be willing to come in here and let us shoot paintballs at him. I mean, he was
without body armor.
He was willing to do it, and the problem is none of the other cats are willing. I mean, that's the problem is none of the other ones are willing.
Sir, I'd like to invite you to the World According to Mike on Wednesday nights. Sir, I'm just going to throughout the election
speaking
period,
of next week, we're getting ready for the debate, right? So not Wednesday tomorrow, but the next week. I think I want to take the bus
April the 23rd,
and I want to throw out. I'm gonna pull up my calendar real quick.
Yeah, I want to do that first.
I want to throw out. So April the 20th will be the World According to Mike, and I think I want to toss us out to do a live show somewhere and say, hey, anybody that wants to speak, if you were running for any kind of election, meet us at so and so and get on the microphone. We'll be in the bus. And then the 23rd is the debate. Go ahead, Mike.
How about the parking lot in front of LA Fitness? Because you've got redneck stuff.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Somewhere there's a lot of traffic. A lot of people can see us. Like you could just pull up. You don't even have to get out of your car.
I can go to the Walmart parking lot.
Just pull up, and I'll be right there at the mic.
Go behind Red Lobster. There's a nice big empty parking lot.
And you could just drive up. It'll be drive
what
up.
About Starbucks?
It'll be. We'll call it drive
just
by.
Saying, we might just go straight to Starbucks then. Mike, how about them questions that let's take a step back in time before Mike flipped out on his. Mike had all these important questions, and the first one hinged the rest of them. So let's go to the hypotheticals at this point because you had questions. There was really nothing to do. Well, explain your scenario for all the listeners that weren't here when this took place, because we do have to remind everybody this is live radio. There's people that tune in and out.
I know he's got to leave too, so I'll do this.
Make it fast. You got 4 minutes.
All right, listen. This is the way I do things. I'm a military guy, so I look at procedure. The way you find a breakdown in procedure is you start at the beginning, unbiased, and you start working it outward. Okay, it's like reverse technology. So I started asking about the particular postings that you had done on your Facebook page. Now, I just want everyone to know, everyone who's saying Oz doesn't do anything, I went back and I got around to 80, 90 posts, and then it dawned on me that I hadn't even got out of the month of April yet. So, Oz, I mean, you're making 80, 90 posts, and what's today's date? You know? So whoever says you're not doing anything, obviously they're not paying attention. Now, back to the property. Okay, let's say I'm a homeowner. Next door, I got this crap hole. Okay. Now, obviously, I think anyone that owns property understands the fact that they are responsible. So the way I'm looking at it is, okay, how many complaints have been put in? You said numerous. Then we had the discussion about, well, you know, neighbors are going to say, I've called and called and called, but there's no documented complaint. Then there's no documented complaint. We understand that as adults and mature adults with property owners. So my next question is what is the policy? You explain the policy that there actually isn't a code enforcement that I can call. I understand that's an internal agency or department within a local government. So the citizen probably shouldn't have direct, but there should be some type of, you know, issues line. I don't want to say complaints. But yeah, because a code enforcer, he can't be everywhere. You have to rely, okay, got to rely on that. Okay, so you told me there was no process and that it goes to an assistant. And I'm sitting there going, holy crap.
We got the, for instances, we're on a time frame.
It goes to a voicemail.
It goes to a voicemail.
And someone calls you back. They check the voicemail and someone calls you back.
Either they call, well, actually they don't, don't call back. They just go out to the
And I don't like that because I'm old school, as many other people are. And I like to get a nice courtesy call to know that you did get my message.
Yes, sir.
And that you're coming out.
Yes, sir.
And if you come out, I like to know that you come out.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to touch and knock on my door, ring my bell, and communicate.
If somebody
a legit coming out.
If somebody, I own a pit bull. Okay. If somebody calls
the process.
Somebody calls animal control about my dog being running around. Okay. Let me tell you something. The animal control will circle around, look for the dog. Then they'll come knock on my door and they'll say, look, we had a complaint. Code enforcement doesn't do that. Jesus
no.
Christ.
Code enforcement only comes out once someone calls and gives them your address, whether or not it's a true
you're already
complaint.
I'm sure you're already guilty before you're proven innocent. Okay, so my next question is
let's stay the questions. He's got
and because I didn't get any of this is okay. So now the code enforcement comes out and says, holy crap, look at this. You as an adult and everything else, you said, hey, let's put some crime scene tape up or something just to let people know that we're been here, just to let people know. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Obviously it's a homeowner's responsibility. Bam, you notify him.
Property.
You cite him or you give him what am I looking for? Like a citation, a bill, a ticket, something like that. Okay, here's my question. You give me this ticket. What happens? Who's the collecting authority? Who's the answering authority? Who is going to come out to me at my job site, at my home, I didn't mean job site, but
keep going.
Okay, so go ahead.
All right, so let me answer.
I don't want to go too far.
This is, I don't like revealing all of my vision going forward because, you know, people will listen to what you're saying and they'll make it theirs, but here it is. It's okay. Because often imitated, never duplicated. So here we go. My vision with code enforcement is to respond to a complaint, and I think there should be a verbal warning. A verbal warning with a minimum of at least 2 weeks for the person to correct the problem. Then there should be, if the problem is not corrected in 2 weeks, a written warning. You should follow what I'm doing here now.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Somebody track this. If the problem hasn't been corrected after a written warning, in 2 weeks minimum, there needs to be a citation for the violation, which will order that person to come to court. That also means that the officer would be doing some type of follow-up investigation between the time that the citation was written and the date of the court date and the person appearing before the judge. The officer should have given the information and communicated to the prosecutor, the county attorney, that the problem has been fixed or that the problem still exists. If the problem still exists, then I'm asking the prosecutor to communicate to the judge that swift and tough penalties be enforced upon this particular person. I want to give you a verbal warning, 2 weeks to get it fixed, a written warning, 2 more weeks to get it fixed, then a citation.
And what happens if you don't?
And if you don't get it,
fine.
First of all, you're told to come to court.
Right.
And if you don't, there's a bench warrant issue.
There should be a bench warrant issue, and you should give just cause as to why this property or this situation is in the condition and why you haven't complied with whatever the county ordinance is.
Right.
And depending on what you say, the judge will do what he or she is supposed to do at that point.
Right.
Okay.
But you got to stand before the judge. So keep in mind, there are senior citizens who live alone.
Yeah.
Who can't mow grass anymore.
That's right.
Who have problems.
Right.
So before we jump to, what did I say I want to do first?
You need to investigate it.
Verbal
warning, written warning, bring you into court.
Right.
Let's find out. Let's hear from you what in the world is going on.
Right. And I want to be clear because I lived in Gwinnett County, and let me tell you, 14 years there, and I watched the stupidity take place. Like they had the rule that says you can't park in your grass. It's my grass, and I can do whatever the hell I want with my grass. And they were like, no, if it has 4 tires, it can't park in the grass. There's a difference of me pulling my car in my grass and a difference of having a junked car that doesn't run sitting in the grass.
Yes.
They tried to tell me that I couldn't have my motorcycle trailer parked off of the driveway and in the grass. But yet they would allow, I lived in a boating neighborhood. We had a lake. They would allow boats to park there. And I said, wait a minute, you're telling me they can have boats, but I can't have a motorcycle. They said, well, that's their recreation. You will live in a boating community. I said, that's my motorcycle trailer and it's my recreation. You can't have one and not. So I find it very stupid when you start telling people that they can't have more than 4 cars in their driveway.
That's called selective enforcement.
Yes, that is selective.
Yeah.
Listen, I got to wrap up.
But let's not have trash in the yard. That's different.
I got to wrap up. I want to say this. Thanks for letting me come on again to Just for Fun Radio. Again, I want to give this number out, 770-624-9446. The best way to reach me is to text me. I really need you to text me. I'm about 35 days away from having this whole campaign wrapped up. I got a lot going on. I stole a lot of time to come out here and do this morning. I was glad to be a part of it. If you're trying to reach the county to get something done, I'm going to give you 2 numbers I'm going to leave you with. The switchboard operator number is 770-278-7000. Again, the switchboard operator that can get you to various departments throughout the county is 770-278-7000. The receptionist will answer the phone, tell her what you're trying to do, what you're trying to find, and she should be able to direct you to the appropriate office to get a problem handled. If you're trying to reach the chairman's office, that number is 770-278-7003. I started out by giving my number. I'm all over Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I'm Oz Nesbitt. I am your chairman. I've been in this community 16 years, serving 8 of those years as your Post 1 commissioner. I'm looking to be the next chairman to take Rockdale County to the next level here in this community. Thank you for having me. Military Mike, DJ Scottie, Stephanie, it's been a pleasure. God bless you. And guess what? God bless Rockdale County.
That's right. Look, we're going to go play one song. It's actually my dedication to all the people running for office. It's Colt Ford called I Answer to No One. We'll be right back. Yeah, man, come on. Hot seat today. I mean, my phone has not stopped.
I know.
I've got people saying he's got my vote. I got people in other counties saying he's got my vote.
I just got one from Walton County that said, why doesn't he come if he comes up the Walton?
Sorry, my brain's like, holy crap. Whole thing
well,
is,
let me tell you what we do.
This takes leadership.
Let me tell you what we do need. We need all that they do is do the investigation part of it.
Make sure it's legit. It's legit. Right, everybody, like a private investigation. All right, and then I'm gonna shoot. Stephanie, stay towards Oz because I'm gonna shoot between you and that. All right, remember it starts to flash. And
he's gonna shoot you in that chair, don't you? All right.
I'll shoot it to you in just a second.
Okay. And you gonna get one, just me and you? You want to do it?
Here, get one of y'all. Get one, hurry, real quick.
All right, super fantastic. Send those to me, folks.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother. Love you, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you think you'll be available? I'll put you.
I want you to hit me up at 6 o'clock tomorrow night and say, get your butt here. I want you to do that. I want you to do that. And guys, I'm gonna say one last thing. I really think you will send this show to the roof if you make a real effort to reach out to those other people. All of their information is on Parker Road.
Yeah.
And Connie has all their information, so you have access to get it to get them in here.
You just
scared,
took
man.
2.5 hours just out of an ass whooping. They're not gonna sign up for that.
Nobody's gonna sign up for the.
I hate to say it, but the other guys are smarter than you. They're not gonna come over
No,
here.
it's not that they're smarter. They don't want.
And I think you ought to at least be able to say
That's right. That's
Yeah.
another thing I want to do.
that will give you the power to say that.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll put it out on my page too.
But maybe we need to go to them directly and not put it on Facebook, not put it.
Why you think they're? Because
Go
you know
to
if they
an
come in
email.
here, they're gonna
Go,
get. They're gonna get.
not send an email. If he's supposed to be a county official that's working for this people, let's go to his office. Let's all put our nice, just for fun shirts on and go to his office. They have Facebook Live now. We can record it. Hey,
they may feel that we're attacking them if we.
no, we're coming to you to ask you to come on our show. That's all we're doing.
You'll see what Hillary said about being late to that.
I got a boogie. I got to be in Athens at like 11 o'clock.
Why?
All right, we're back. We got to do something real fast.
I'm doing shooting. I got a lesson I got to teach.
I need you, Stephanie.
What?
I need you
I didn't do it.
and a selective, sexual, strange, redneck voice to say you were looking for Ricky.
Ricky who?
And then go, is this Ricky Bobby?
Ricky Bobby.
All right, ready?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I have no.
Say that you're pregnant and you think he's your daddy, your baby daddy. That y'all gonna go on the Maury Povich show.
Reached the voicemail box of 4.
Good Lord, he's scared or he's sleeping. Let's just dial it again and make sure. One more time. One more time.
Sleeping at 10.
Is this Ricky Bobby? Dear baby Jesus.
Not first, you're last.
Hello.
Is this Ricky?
Yeah.
Ricky, I've been trying to get a hold of you for 3 months now. Don't you know who this is?
Mm-mm.
Ricky Bobby. Are you listening?
I am.
You know, we had that one nighter, and
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, we got a baby Jesus on the way.
You got baby Jesus on the way.
Yes, we do. Well, we're gonna call him Jesus though, okay? He's gonna be Jesus. Are you? Did you hang up on me again? You know how long it took me to get this number? Who are you sleeping
Probably
with?
10.
What's her name?
Probably 10 minutes.
Who?
Happy birthday, brother. I can't believe you're sleeping today. Out of
Maybe
all
10
days,
minutes.
After that,
I had to come up with something fast because I wanted Mike to call you as an insurance person and say, listen, we are investigating some insurance fraud. But I thought that'd be too serious. Anyways, we just had to sneak in a happy birthday because the show's coming to an end. And it's like, you can't let this man have a birthday without us just effing with him.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby.
So happy
y'all
birthday.
Y'all did pretty good, but I'm pretty clue on top of y'all.
It seems like everybody around here now, when they're having birthdays, they just know not to answer the phone. We're going to have to start calling people like after their birthday.
Call it the day before, call it the day after.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm sorry we woke you, brother. We was just trying to squeeze it in before the
That's
show
right.
ended. Your son-in-law's like, you have got to get Rick today. So thank Brian, and he's listening, matter of fact. So thank him for this.
Well, thank you, son. I appreciate this.
I love you, my Rick.
Are you sure y'all don't have like a dear baby Jesus on the way?
No, he is actually Ashley's godfather, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley adores him.
Well, have a great day. I didn't mean to wake you. We just wanted to try to get you before the show was over.
No, that's
Yes,
cool.
happy
I appreciate
birthday.
y'all.
Happy birthday.
All right, man. We
Just
hope you have a
for
good
fun,
day.
just for fun.
Yes, sir. It sure is. Have a good day. I hope you feel better soon.
Yes.
Bye,
Love
buddy.
you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Love you.
buddy.
Bye.
You're getting as bad as Denise trying to squeeze in I love yous. Damn.
But I do. I love
But I do
everyone.
love you.
I love you.
We're going to go tomorrow. We're going to figure out who the baby daddy is.
If you're not first, you're last.
I think they should do a part 2 to that movie, by the way.
I ruined my Crystal Gale shirt.
So, look, I got to make my way to Athens.
I am going to be going up to Monroe to the range. I'm teaching a class here.
Can I use your car to go to Athens?
Why does it need to
You need my car?
No, it's a joke. Like,
Oh.
I'm scared that wouldn't even make it to Athens.
Oh no, it runs.
Pizza.
No, it runs. It runs.
Oh, I was gonna say, what is there bugs on the way
That
there? You
wasn't-
need a bug screen.
Wow.
The
My car
smoke?
runs fine now.
Oh,
Now.
I fixed
okay.
it. Yeah, it was running
you-
bad there for a while. Yeah, I had to do some work.
That
to it.
thing puttered. It's like, bam, bam,
And that was just trying to crank it.
No, yeah, 'cause once he
I thought
he
it was
got
sending
it-
me Morse code one day.
once he got it cranked, it sounded like it was fixing to take off,
That's right.
as in an air jet.
Yeah.
Airplane.
Look, we
And
got to go.
Had to
Your
exchange.
your wife says
I got to
that
be in Athens.
that was the most proper she's ever heard me speak.
I know, right?
Well, when you said there's a baby Jesus on the way.
I guess. I don't know. So, look, man, thanks everybody for tuning in today. Sorry if it was all political, but hey, Oz had a situation yesterday. And you know what I find to be very awesome is when he called me, he's like, man, I'm hot. Let me tell you what's happening. And I said, well, get over it and then tell me. He's like, I am not getting over it. The reason is I basically said, welcome to our world. Like, you now are experiencing what your citizens have been experiencing. And I think it's amazing that the shoe is on the opposite foot and he's experiencing it firsthand, just like we have for years. You know, the whole question of the friggin' sewage money that we pay every year, but yet the sewage out here is crazy. Like all the streets, it's not just mine, it's all the streets that have curbs or nasty trash and all this other stuff's all up on the curb. Dirt, you know, with weeds growing and stuff. So if we're paying for sewage and we're paying for runoff, then why is that not cleaned? It's all these questions that's what people are here for. That's what they're going to be asked. People got to answer these questions.
I think he made a great point too about having some more code enforcement investigators.
Yeah.
I think that's good. That would be better money
And I
spent than a
think
new
it's
vehicle.
stupid that they're going to be selective and go after people who park a car in the grass
Dumb.
instead of going after people that don't have tagged cars.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about the cars that are tagged. Some of us don't have driveways big enough to park all the cars.
Can you imagine
Correct.
if I was a code enforcement investigator?
Yeah, I can. So we're out of here.
I certainly wouldn't go after people parking cars in their grass.
Yeah, because there's much bigger fish to
Yeah,
fry.
Huge fish in this county.
Cars being parked in the grass are not disgusting.
When I
Trash
get done
on
with
the side
everything,
of these houses is disgusting.
Scotty, down the road right there was a pile of a fence there. It's gone
it
now.
laid there for 8 months.
I was going to say almost a year.
And do you
so-
realize that the only reason it was moved, somebody set it on fire?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then guess
wow.
what? 2 weeks later, there was more stuff set there. And you know what I was told by some people in the neighborhood? The reason that they're putting stuff there is to signify that's the road to turn on to buy drugs.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah. I was
So-
told that's the whole reason that stuff's laying there is to signify this is where you turn. There'll be a
Oh,
pile of stuff
man.
there. Because you noticed after that stuff was removed, 2 tires were put there.
So if you know this,
If I know
and other people know
Yeah.
this,
thank you.
Thank you.
why doesn't
Well, hello.
the
How
sheriff-
is it that I know weeds being sold next to the Valero in the same shopping center that the South Precinct is?
because that's where I get my weed.
How do I know about it?
Yeah, stop telling me where. Damn.
How is it that
I gotta go to Walton. Kill me.
How is it that I've sat in the car in front of Ingles with the baby while Crystal was inside getting formula, and I watched and witnessed drug deals go down?
Oh yeah.
How is it that I've sat there while Crystal's getting food at Pizza Hut, and I've sat there and witnessed drug deals go down?
You don't have a utility belt. You don't have satellite photos.
Right down the road is a freaking police station in the same parking lot. Yes. All right, we're out of here. Everybody have a great day. We'll see y'all later on.
Hey, Tuesday night.
These are all alleged because I don't have proof that they were selling drugs.
You don't have a badge.
It was just kind of obvious that one person handed somebody a baggie and he walked over to this other parking
bag
lot
of
with
oregano.
The money. Yeah, it was
spice.
Spice.
Yeah. Hey, tonight, 7:00, Xander Mack. He's got Tech Talk with Danielle. And tomorrow night, The World According to Mike, 7:00. Hopefully, Oz will be able to come. And Thursday night,
I got somebody go because that's where you buy your weed.
That's what I said. Yeah, man. I mean, I know.
Yeah, but you saying it's funny. It's heard somebody else say it.
Well, that's where they buy their weed. All right. So, hey, Xander Mack tonight. Call in. I think everybody listening should
call in, dude.
And give Xander
I understand the morning show. People are a little nervous to call in, and they're working, and they don't want to get in trouble with their boss, or they don't want their voice recognized. Alex's show is nowhere near as intense for stirring up crap as much as our show.
Yeah.
He does cover a lot of great topics, and it's a little more uncensored, where we have to be a little more politically correct in the AM.
Call with tech questions.
Yes, he is covering all the tech stuff, man. Like the stupid Facebook thing. Everybody should text him and ask him about this Facebook thing about the hidden messages, like
filtered
messages and stuff. Well, look, we got to go. I got somewhere to be.
See you, bye.
We love each and every one of you guys, and listen. If the one thing that you can see by me is this: the freedom of my speech will not be stopped. The freedom of your speech will not be stopped. I got lawyers that will be here in a second to deal with this if that's what it comes down to. Hell, I've had a Rockdale County judge explain to a neighbor that I can video anywhere I want as long as it's in public and I'm not on her property peeping in her window.
As long as part of your property is in the shot.
As long as I can stand on my property and see your property, I can video anything I want. If we're out on the street, I can video anything I want. If you're picking your nose when Burger King, you're a dumbass because I'm videoing it. So I'm just letting you know, I already know my rights. And the second that you want to take me to court, please, you're just going to make me more famous. You're just going to make sure I get on Channel 5. And that's what all you fools are scared of. You're scared of me because you don't want to make me any more famous. I only have 14 million people paying attention. Let's make it 14,700,075. I'm willing to go that route.
One.
See you later.
Bye. Are we off?